Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mumia Obsidian Ali. You know who I am. I need no introduction, right? And you're listening to the Grown Man Hour with my man Bernard Riley, heard weekdays right here on YouTube. What do you think about that? How about that? Now let's get back on with the show. Thank you.
What's going on, good people? Y'all probably haven't seen me with this look in a while. I'm doing a road game. That's how I normally look when I'm at my lady house. Even though we all a bunch of incels, But anyway, I'm at my lady house, so that's why I'm at. I normally say my woman. I don't like to say my lady. That sounds weird. But anyway, this is that's why the background different. That's why I'm not all in crystal clear HD. I ain't traveling all my equipment. I'm struggle streaming with the Yeti mic in the little Best Buy webcam for like 120. No, probably not even that much. But either way it go. We struggle streaming tough today, but we getting it in. Rain, sleet, and snow. But shout out and welcome to the show, the Hood Conservative, once again on a Saturday. What's going on?
Doing good. Glad to be here, man. Good morning, everybody.
Morning. Yeah, make sure y'all hit that like button. As we get things going. This is gonna be an interesting one. It's gonna be two things. I found out from Hood Conservative that there's a thing that's actually called a white privilege test, and I suppose it was designed so white people can go and take the test, answer the questions, and get like a privilege score to find out how much privilege they actually got. We're going to be doing that. We're going to be digging into that one, and because I guess people didn't suspect that black people would actually take the white privilege test. So I'm going to take the white privilege test live on the air to see if I have some white privilege. But is that you just turned your mic back on? Was that a fair assessment of what?
Yeah. Just a brief moment of background. This is an actual thing given from a Wisconsin superintendent in the school district. The 8th largest school district in Wisconsin gave this to their teachers as training. So we're going to do teacher training.
Okay, now I see. But and also in addition to that, we found an article or something that's kind of funny. It's called 50 Things You Never Say to a Black Person. So we're going to be going over and going through that that I don't even know if to call it an article. It's more or less a list of things that someone has determined that if you, being a non-black person, should never say to a black person. So we're gonna run through that one as well. I'm pulling up the email right now as we speak. Pulling up the email right now. Unless you got it ready to go. If you got it ready to go, then you can just hit the share button.
Yeah, I do. Give me 2 seconds here.
Nope, I might beat you to the punch. Whoever. Okay, there you go. You got it.
So yeah, now to be fair, I believe this list was compiled by British blacks because this is a UK website. But I think the list does sort of strike like universal chords here. And the first thing right away is like, ouch. You probably should never say stuff like that.
Yeah, we got to read them up just in case people can't see them. So it says, you're pretty for yeah, go ahead. Yeah, do it like that.
Number 1, you're really pretty for a black girl. Who the hell talks like that?
Let some of the sisters tell it. They say on dating apps they get comments like that. They say that white guys on dating apps that they matched with, by the way, they swipe right on. You swipe right on that white guy. I mean, don't complain afterwards. But anyway, the white guy you swiped right on might say something goofy like, "You're pretty for a black girl." And there's some black girls they've said that they've received that, over the years.
I could buy that actually. Now that I think about it, because I was just covering this whole black women dating white men phenomena. So yeah, I could kind of see that. It would get a little cringe. But who's you're really pretty for a black girl. You would think people wouldn't say that kind of thing like out loud, but yeah, people are dumb. And that's kind of the reason why I even titled the stream the way I did, "Are black women strong enough to date white men?" Because I could hear some white guy just not giving a fuck and asking a really, really rough question or saying a really rough thing like that. Like, yeah, it gets hard.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, that is a stupid thing to do. Like some of these things on here are just outright stupid. I can't believe somebody would do that. Some of it is kind of a fair question. So on some of this stuff, but that's a stupid thing to do if you're got any sexual or romantic interest in her. I'm gonna take a crap on the rest of your race and gender or whatever, or your gender, race, whatever you call that. I'm gonna take a crap on that while pursuing you. So you're gunning for somebody who he thinks we're all ugly, but he sees me as different. It's like,
right.
That's what you're gunning for, a chick that think like that. If you say some stuff like that, but yeah. So
the question once you say that now becomes, how many women were like, "Yes, I am pretty for a black girl," and then went on to date the white guy who just said that. Like, you gotta wonder. Some of the girls are like, "Right, check mark, I'm good."
Exactly. Yeah, it could be some game. It could be some game to where he's like, if she's good with me saying that shows how much leverage I have over this chick. If she'll go forward after I say that. It could be that. But moving on to number 2 on the list, are your lips real? Now that's a goofy one. That one to me is goofy because I don't think any white person asks a black person that. Because I think they more or less expect us to have big lips. But I think that's a question that you ask when you see a white person, particularly a white woman with some real big full lips. You be like, damn, did she get some, what is it called, collagen?
Right. That whole plastic face kind of look, like, I don't know, that's a black people thing at all, but I almost feel like those are like fighting words even. Like, fuck you mean on my lips real? Like, don't ever ask black people shit like that.
Yeah.
I don't understand this one.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've never heard nobody even ask that. The only thing that happened with, like, far as lips that that offends me, and I don't know. Well, I kind of know why, but is when, and this happens if you ever been to a school, and let's just say it's Black History Month, and all the kids are coloring a picture of Martin Luther King, and I saw this in real time. When it came to color the lips, the white kids in the class colored his lips pink, and I was like, "Oh, what the hell?"
Wow.
It's like I was like, "God damn!" And some of them even went with red. Like I saw that in real time, and then one of the black students was like, "Why are you putting lipstick on him?" and but in the mind of white people, it was like, no, all you niggas got pink lips. Like, but that was in the minds of kids. Like I literally saw that in my son's classroom, and I was just like, whoa.
I am so not touching that. Let the kids be kids, bro.
I was like, whoa. But yeah, no, that's the only thing when it comes to I don't know why I get a little triggered if they try to make it seem like we all just got some pink lips. I do get a little. I can't explain why. I mean, it's just whatever. I mean, stuff like that I normally don't care. Like when what's the name? I forgot the guy's name who he was in the NFL. It was another coach in the NFL said some guy has big lips, look like Michelin tire lips or something like that.
Oh, I do remember something about that recently.
Yeah, I forgot all the players involved in that, but all I know is I didn't really get offended by that. I mean, black people on average do got bigger lips, and that particular gentleman, lips was big, and someone made a joke about his big lips. Hey,
yeah,
I didn't get bothered by that. But that pink lip stuff, I don't know. I don't like that one. Probably because my bottom lip slightly pink. I don't know.
It is weird. Like I will say, like one of the odd things about being black, I suppose, but you get this like self-consciousness that you don't know if other people are being weird and racist to you, or maybe you're just being weird taking it this way, and you can never know sometime. Like the whole thing with the kids coloring, it's like you just gotta eat that, bro.
Yeah, I didn't go to the school board or speak to the principal and none of that stuff. I didn't go and try to start a movement like some people do that when they see stuff like that. No, you're right. You just gotta eat it. You gotta eat it. It's like they was kids. They were kids. I mean, hey.
Like, oh yeah, do you really want to be the one black guy yelling at a room full of white kids because they drew some funny pictures? Like this isn't gonna help the race relations either.
Right. But no, let's go to the next one. It says
Number three, you're like black. I feel like I've said that before. Like no bullshit. I feel like all right, because for one, black people joke about black people's blackness more than anybody else. White people will almost never talk about how black a person is. That's a joke exclusively for the in crowd. So like, yeah, so we've all, he blue black, he midnight black, he's 3 hours past midnight. You know what I mean? Like we've all done that joke. So I feel like I've done the you're black. You're not just regular black.
Yeah. I you rarely hear white people do that one. That's a black thing. That's a black thing. Talking about the varying degrees of blackness. Yeah, so that one, I mean, it's titled "The 50 Things You Shouldn't Say to a Black Person." So yeah, I suppose that can make the cut. But yeah, but somebody just made a good point. How they call Tommy Sotomayor crispy? How the pro blackity black we black y'all person who make pro blackity black we black y'all documentaries is clowning Tommy Sotomayor for being a shade darker than the normal amount of darkness. Like, so it's like. That's a black thing. That's definitely a black thing through and through 100%. But number 4, can I touch your hair? That's typically a woman thing. Black women go through that, and
I'm wondering.
Oh, yeah.
How much of this list, before we get through, because it's 50 and we're only 4 to 5 in now, how much of this list is relatively female specific? Because I think there's a little bit of phenomena going on here. You know, we talked about the Crown Act last time around, and you know the House just passed it like yesterday. And it has to go to the Senate, and then Biden has to sign it. So we might have a federal dreadlock weave protection act or something like that. And I'm wondering, out of this list, how much of it is really female specific? Because I don't know that Black men get all this weird discomfort operating outside of Black culture that Black women get.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying when it comes to small things like hair. Like even the Black dude who got an afro or dreadlocks, I don't think has that many issues with people asking about his hair. I think because a lot of Black women are, insecure about their hair. They, most of them, can't grow it long and down their back like they want to. So yeah, they're insecure about that. So somebody touching or pulling or picking at their hair, yeah, they don't touch my shit. But a dude who grew out some dreadlocks or rocking a little Donald Glover afro, a childish Gambino, whatever you know him as, childish Gambino afro. He's not tripping about that. He's not. He don't feel no type of way, no type of insecurity about it. So yeah, you are right. That is strictly a Black female thing.
Like when I had like a braids and an afro, I never really tried the dreadlocks. Really, maybe a little when I was young, but I was never bothered by the "can I touch your hair?" Hell, especially dudes don't really want to touch dudes' hair anyway. So if somebody wanted to touch my hair, that was an introduction to something. Like, I don't know why y'all tripping.
I never thought about it from that perspective. Yeah, the white dude reaching, asking to touch your hair. That's yeah. Anyway, I ain't trying to.
Right, I know where this goes.
Yeah, I ain't never thought about that, but yeah. But the fifth one is, you're so lucky to have a natural tan. Have you heard that one?
No. And this is why I was wondering, like, do white people really say this stuff to people? Like, who hears this?
I could see how it's possible somebody could say that, because let's just say a really light, or caramel complected Black person or Latina, a white person who looked like a goddamn vampire, who like takes measures to try to get a little browner, a little caramely. I could see her saying that. I could see how that's possible. But again, a lot of this stuff is female. Because like I don't know if white guys like deliberately work on their tan like that. I just think if they get caught in the sun, they get caught in the sun. So this is a lot female. Shout out to SKC in the building with the $5 super chat. He says, salute to my guys, Hood and BR at rodeo. Like rodeo? Like you, like what? Okay. He gonna catch one of these questions at the rodeo.
Hey. It's like, yo, you're black, huh? Nah, it's so funny. I actually went to an event like that a long time ago when I was a kid. They had like some kind of rodeo thing, and it was in Brooklyn. But yeah, I fell in a bunch of horse manure that day. So good luck to you, SKC. Don't participate in none of the events. Just watch, bro. Just watch.
Oh man. All right. So where we at? I didn't realize Black people can grow eyebrows. Now that's a deliberate joke. That ain't even a curiosity question. That's just a joke saying your hair is black and you Black, so I'm shocked we could see your eyebrows. Like, okay, that's at that point, that one is playing the dozens.
Yeah, I'm almost blown away by that. Like, bro, you trying to fuck with me? Like, all right. When did we not be able to grow eyebrows? Who thinks this? Where does this even come from? Because out of all Black people, only like less than 5% of Black people are really black, where you couldn't even tell if they had eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
Like most of us aren't like, the middle of the Congo Black.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, you really don't find Black people that dark in America. I mean, if they're born here and their mama's was from here, you don't really find them that dark. It's like it's specifically certain places in Africa where you see them just that dark, like they like dark, like. But yeah,
maybe this is one of those differences between like the UK and America, because I think they may have a lot more African immigration. Like they've been taking in like a Nigerian population specifically for a while now, because the UK has like colonies or former colonies. And so I wonder if something like that is more common, like really, really dark-skinned Black people is just a little more common in the UK. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's something that's been low-key brewing, because, immigration to a lot of those European countries from people coming from Africa and the Middle East and all of that and everything, and not a lot of those countries, who probably used to, talk shit about America and our history and our past and our this and that, and they're talking about Jim Crow, the civil rights movement, and all of that. I think a lot of those countries are now finding out just how racist they are too. Like they like, hey, hold on, we now that we got a large influx of niggas, we don't like niggas either. I think some of those countries might be getting to that point. I think that may be the case. So they'll have their own. Yeah, go ahead.
When you say it like that, you kind of remind me of something Tommy Sotomayor says, and he's funny with the jokes, but he was saying, where there's more than three, I shall never be. And I'm like, well, is Europe kind of hitting that magic number too, is what you're saying?
Possibly they getting to the point where, yeah, they got to rein it in. they about to be putting up a wall. They about to be putting up a wall, try to keep people up out of there. I mean, but I don't know. We were supposed to do a show where you did it on your channel. For some reason, I don't think I'm getting your notifications. I got to check on that and see what's going on. But I know you covered the whole Ukraine thing. We're supposed to be talking about that, how, and I guess the amount of racism that's happening in Ukraine, and how Biden's supporting the races or this or that. We're supposed to be getting into that. It's something I don't know that much about, how racist or supposedly racist it is in other parts of the world. I don't, that ain't something I, spend that much time studying, but it is a thing that's brewing. It is a thing that's brewing. I have heard some discussion about it when they're talking about the immigration. The goddamn, just look at the Olympics team, the damn soccer team. Well, they call it football, but the soccer team over there in the Olympics. I forgot which team was that won the gold, and you looked and it was like 60-70% non-Spanish or non-Italian, basically immigrants who came over from somewhere in Africa. Basically, that was their whole team. That got them the gold. Like, I was like, hey, time's changing.
Well, and see, this is when you start getting into like, it sounds like your ethno-nationalism type of arguments. And to a certain degree, look, listen, Black people got to play the game from both sides. How would you like it if Wakanda was 58% white people?
How?
Yeah.
You make it damn, if Wakanda... Put it like this: if Wakanda actually exists, and I looked up and I saw that Wakanda was 13% white, I would be like, hey, y'all slipping. I ain't gonna even lie.
Right.
I'd be like, and I said 13% for a reason, because Black people are 13% of the
I get it,
of the US. So yeah, I would be like, hey, y'all slipping on your pimping over there. Y'all got a strong, solid thing that y'all own it, y'all run it, y'all okay. And how long before that 13% of these white people about to be trying to run for? Well, I mean, it's a king queen situation there, so it ain't like you can run for political office. But maybe there are some lower, high up but lower than king and queen positions that they have a democratic process for over in Wakanda. Hypothetically, I don't know the full politics in the mythical Wakanda from the MCU, but still, you get my point. You get my general point. How long before a white person is sitting on the little council with the elders? Like, I'm just saying.
You're being too kind. Like our first look in Wakanda, the black people were in civil war, and that was just amongst the blacks. What happens when the white folks want a piece of the pie too? You think it's gonna be all votes and rallies? Like, oh my goodness, no. But you know, we're kind of going down a rabbit hole.
Well, but real quick, since we on that civil war in Wakanda, I don't know. Okay, well, Black Panther came out in 2018. I was at the early stages of making pre-recorded content. But looking back at it now, okay, it was a civil war in Wakanda. Most of the people on one side of the war was female. You notice that? And most of the people on the other side of the war was male. And the battle ended when one of the generals on the male side basically bent the knee to the female general on the other side.
Yes.
That was his woman. Where
I used that picture for something, and I put the caption, I keep forgetting we're not in love anymore.
that was deep, where they ended up in the battle like face to face with each other, and she pulled her spear up on him like what nigga, and he was like, you'd kill me. She was like, for Wakanda in a heartbeat, and then his ass just bent the damn knee and ended the war. The imagery of that was like, oh.
Yeah, man. That one scene said so much to me, because although Black Panther, his father and him both were kings, technically there was a lot of female authority hovering at the royal level. And you could argue, you know, Wakanda is somewhat of a matriarchal system. There are a lot of women with powerful roles to play in the community, especially outside of just the movie. When you kind of get into the comic books of it all, like, you know, the women of Wakanda hold some weight. And it does kind of look like, yeah, maybe we lost this war in the comics and in real life too.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And I never even asked, like, what was the exact reason for the guards? What are they called? The
Dora Milaje.
Dora Milaje. Well, okay, his security, basically, all women. Now at first, when I first watched it, I was like, oh, okay, they got some Wakanda magic or vibranium, something like. But no, it was just they had nothing but just the regular weapons in their biological strength. Like, so I'm like, that's kind of weird that all female guards. Like, that was a little. It was just weird. It was just weird. Yeah. I didn't overthink it, because I was just happy to see Black Panther, and at the movies, and I loved it. And
that's how you get black people. That's literally how you get black people.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't even want to question it. Why are the women strong enough to beat up all the men? Doesn't matter. They're black. Let's go.
I enjoyed it. But yeah, that's how they get you. Get your booties to the pole. Like that, just they just put it out there, package it, make it look good. You close your eyes, you don't understand, you don't question what you're really seeing. But all right.
Total programming. But number 7, I think we're on now.
Okay.
I think number 7 is valid though.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rude thing to say, but number 7 goes, you're not black. You must be mixed with something because you're so light skinned. Now let's take the you're not black part aside. That's a little too triggering, but you must be mixed with something because you're so light skinned. How in the hell do black people become light skinned in the first place?
Exactly. You hit it right on the head when you said that you're not black. Okay. A person who identifies as black, like in the thumbnail, I used a picture from the show Dear White People, where the main character was half white, but she so strongly identified as black. She was the one leading the charge, hosting the radio show in the movie or the TV show. Her little radio show was called Dear White People. So here you are, half white, was raised by your white dad, but you're addressing white people as if you're completely separate and apart from them. But that's how strong the identifying as black thing is. Like we said this on before, where I said black people are more community, but I used the wrong word. I meant tribal. That's the right word. They're more. They're very tribal, and if somebody identifies themselves as part of the black tribe, any assault on that is like World War III. They, like don't try to strip no blackness from me. That's why you see a lot of light skinned people. They'll grow out their little afro that don't just sit. It kind of blows in the wind a little bit. Those light skinned afros. But as long as they can grow an afro, when your boy Colin Kaepernick took the knee, he made sure he made sure he grew he puffed that afro out. So even though he looking like he can grow his beard and look like Osama bin Laden nephew, but
bro, his hair looked too straight to be puffy like that. He got to treat it with something.
Exactly. Yeah, his hair was very straight before he did all that. So yeah, I think he did treat it to make it. It's like but part of me understands it. Well, not necessarily with Kaepernick, because one, you look like Osama bin Laden nephew, and you were raised by white people. But a black person I'm calling him black, a black person who's half white, but was raised around black people, and that you just culturally are a part of that. It's just they end up being tribal to the point to where you can't just come at them and say they don't question my blackness. Like that's so. But the moral of the story is how, thank you, the NBA fan, and she had a white boyfriend, which means she was about to create a 75% white kid. Well, anyway, that's a whole nother thing.
Wow.
Yeah. But
I want to ask you something though.
Oh, go ahead.
Because we were talking about this identifying as black and white, and it becomes a really weird thing at a certain point, because genetics are not it's not like math problem 1 + 1 always gets you 2. Genetics is always an odd blend of things that you may have never known were even in the mix.
Exactly.
And have you seen that picture that went viral a few months back of Carlton Alphonse Ribeiro, I think his name is, but Carlton, and he's married to a very good looking white woman, and he's got some blue-eyed blonde-haired boys. That man got some white boys, bro. Like, now if Carlton's kids were to identify as black, people would look at them funny. That's all I'm saying. But if Carlton's kids would have just, fold right into the white world, they would probably not get that many second looks. They'd be like, oh, there's a swarthy young man right there. But other than that, he's still white. So this whole identifying thing is such a bizarre game on a certain level.
Yeah, it is. It is, but that's how we've been in this country. If you looked black or looked blackish, you were counted as black. And I'm not even talking about, like in a racist way. I'm just talking about black people. I'm not even talking about white people. I'm talking about amongst black people. If you looked black, you got counted as black, and you were culturally in the club. And that's just how we've always operated. It wasn't until I came on YouTube I noticed there was people who will, say that a biracial person isn't black, or somebody who's mixed. Man, somebody who's 25% will still claim it. Like, I've seen that. Like, I've literally seen that. Hell, look at this. LeVar Ball, who's a light-skinned brother, married a white woman, with a plan, raised his kids up, got 2 of them in the NBA. LeVar Ball, who's mixed, he probably got, if you do his 20, he's not mixed, as far as I know, but if you do his 23andMe, it's going to be something in there relatively soon. That's all I'm saying. Is a lot of times, 2 mixed people who identify as black will get together and make some kids who are going to identify as black. And then that person, if that person gets with a white person, and then that kid, what do we call that kid? That kid is beige as hell. You see what I'm saying? So it's like
proper terms. There have been proper terms for that. Octoroon, mulatto, Sabine. Like, these are relatively controversial words now. But there were words in usage at a certain point to describe this phenomena, because what a lot of people don't really understand, and we kind of it's lost in like the fog of war, so to speak, because all this race stuff is happening. But there was a time in America when black people and white people, especially the poor ones, they lived cheek to cheek. And they literally, cheek to cheek is literally what I'm like, side by side in the field, side by side in the shack. And it produced a lot of an entire class of fair-skinned people, especially in places like Louisiana, is very, very popular for that kind of idea. Well, that thing, like the Sabines, that really light skin, fine hair, like Beyonce's mom kind of look.
Yeah.
It almost creates an entirely separate race. I guess is the proper word.
They're like labradoodles essentially. Like, they get
God.
no, seriously, like they mixed. Let's hear me out.
Octoroon was bad enough. He's a fucking labradoodle.
Well, okay, you know how some people strategically mix Labradors and poodles because they make a nice they make a nice looking. I mean, that's not my type of dog that I would ever get, but for the people that like dogs that look like that, yeah, they make nice little dogs. And so it got to the point to where the labradoodle, to where they've made so many labradoodles. Now labradoodles are mixing with labradoodles, and so now it's like they're their own dog, so to speak. Now you see what I'm saying? Where it's like there's a pure labradoodle that came from an actual lab and an actual poodle, but then it's like multiple generations of labradoodles that never came from a lab and a poodle. They all came from labradoodles coming together, going down the line to where, they're their own dog, they're their own species. So a lot of times when we do look at it, like we'll see, like, okay, it was somebody who I went to middle school with. She was like extremely light skinned and she was beige. And people used to ask her the question, like, hey, are you mixed? And she was like, no, both of my parents were black. It wasn't until one day, I don't even remember what the event was, but sometimes the parents have to come to school. I saw her parents. I think I saw them in a picture too, but I know I saw them at least once in real time. And they were some not quite beige, but extremely light-skinned people who were probably also mixed. But she used to insist that no, both my parents are black and both of my parents' parents are black. But so then I just figured out over time that, oh no, it was somewhere down the line, it was two light-skinned biracial people who just got together, made a kid who identified themselves as black, and he got together with somebody who was biracial who identified as black, and they just kept doing that to the point to where they produced one of my classmates who didn't exactly look black, but black enough to get called black because she was in an all-black neighborhood and went to an all-black school, but they were some labradoodles. That's just what it was.
And the birth of colorism. And right there you go. That's how colorism is born.
Yep. Exactly. That's where the colorism came from. Shout out to Sincere cracking up in the building. He says, I got a question. Can the black community come together, or will it always be divided? I'm gonna let you answer that. I don't even know what to do with that question.
You're lucky I didn't have this clip queued up because I had a sound effect perfect for that. There is no black community. It's just a bunch of places where women and children live. Like that's literally the clip that I had from somewhere. I gotta set it up later. But no, the answer. The problem with that question is it assumes that blackness binds us together in some kind of productive way. And I think the evidence bears out it just does not. So there are black people who live in relative proximity to one another, but there is very little sense of community. And I don't know how to untie that knot. The problem is so far down. You have to undo a lot of things to really fix that. We won't come together on blackness. If black people come together, it'll be on something bigger than blackness. Religion is a good place to start.
Damn. Yeah, that's a good one. One thing that I'll say, and this is like slowly but surely happening, is that there are little enclaves, I don't even know if that's the right word, of black people who've, become successful, made it to, middle, upper middle class, or like lower upper class, if that's even a term, to where, they've moved and, bought a house and started a family somewhere, and then more black people moved in and more black people moved in. And lo and behold, there's a lot of areas where like there's legit, I mean, you could Google it and find some of them, but there's a lot of areas where there's a lot of, upper middle class black communities that exist. Now, normally what happens when black people get their head on straight, they move out of the hood and they go and just they just go buy a nice house that they could afford somewhere, and it's in a white neighborhood. So the black people with their head on straight end up just sprinkled around in random white neighborhoods, and they just become a part of that. But the only place that you see black people together in large numbers is in the poor area. But all the black people with their head on straight, that run businesses or got good jobs, make good money, they're sprinkled around amongst white people. Or it's a few small areas where black people that got their head on straight actually go and live together. That's the reason the black community will always look like garbage because the people with their head on straight, no, they don't get their head on straight and say, let's figure out where we can, us blacks with our head on straight can all go and live together and have a black community that functions. No, they just go sprinkle into other, communities where it's, majority white people. Hell, I did it to some degree. I mean, when I bought my first house, it was a small house in a black neighborhood. And then when I got my second house, is when I was married, we were like the only black people on the block. So actually I did that. Then another black person, black family moved down the street, and man, his wife and their 2 kids. And I'm sitting there with my wife and 3 kids. 3 kids. And so, yeah, it was like, hey, fist in the air, another black person in the neighborhood. But, but other than that, it's like that's normally how it goes. That's normally how it goes. So, yeah.
You did that. I'm the other black guy here, head nod.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
Isn't that always a cool moment? It's like, oh, snap, another black dude. What up? And then he nods back. It's like, what up? And then y'all both feel better.
Yeah. We know if something jump off, we don't got each other back, but it's good to know that you're
right. It's a superficial bullshit thing, but we all engage in it.
That's funny. You thought I was gonna say if something jump off, we know we got each other back. Nah, nigga, that's your shit over there.
It was a nice thought though. But I wanted to go and see number.
But on real quick, hold on.
Oh yeah.
If I since they're cracking up in the building with a $5 super chat, he says I feel their division in the black community because of the government designing it that way. Agree or disagree, fellas on the panel? I disagree. I disagree because we are free, and with all the stuff that the government do, I don't think they limit and restrict people's life that much to where you could say that they are causing the division. Once upon a time, you could say that. I don't think you could say that now. Go ahead, give a short answer to that because I do want to get through the list because it's 50 of them and we only had like 8. So
I know. I would say 50-50. People get on me about my conservative views or whatnot, but to the degree that I will say systematic racism is in effect, I tend to point to some of the liberal programs that try to solve certain problems. And those are the things that are the government designing it the way it is, as you put in your question.
All right. The next question. Okay, that's kind of small. I can't see it. Go ahead. You read it.
Any colored descriptor, and in quotations it says, "I'm not a box of crayons." I'm really not even sure how to process that one. Maybe it's something in Britain. I don't know if they call people yellow, brown, gray. Like I don't know what they mean by that.
I know.
Maybe that's what
I thought they were just using.
That's about.
I thought they were just using the term colored, like how the colored people, like they used to.
Yeah.
I've heard that. Yeah. I've heard that recently, as within the last 10 years, I've heard somebody say colored people. And yeah,
once I had a coworker a long time ago. This is an older kind of white lady, and we were like working on like some kind of, it was a what do you call it, like a maintenance crew. But yeah, she and I were in a truck one day, and she used the word colored, and I didn't get offended or anything, but I was just like, why do you use that's such an odd word to use? What made you say that? Like, we legit had a conversation about it. Because I was like, because just to use the word color, and that now I kind of feel even weird having had that conversation. But I had to explain, like, when you use the word colored, it's almost like, so white is the default and everything else is like something different. Like, I don't know. I felt some kind of way about her using the word colored. I really did. But that was like a long time ago. It was such an odd thing.
Yeah, no, agreed. All right, the next one. Okay, now they're moving on. Well, they put a caption of education over it, but
Yeah,
it's saying number 9, you speak so articulately.
yeah. What's really the bad thing about that? I've heard you're not supposed to say that. Oh, he's clean cut and articulate. That's literally the supposedly racist catchphrase. I tried to say that about Obama, but he really was
Hold
clean
on,
cut and
time out, time
articulate.
out, time out, time out. Was just to be sure, that was former vice president, current president Joe Biden. Didn't he say? Oh no, wait, no, he said Obama was clean back when Obama was running. What did he say?
He's clean. Like, is it really that serious though?
I think that's worse than that's way worse than saying he's so articulate. He's that Chris Rock joke. He speaks so well. He's like, well, that's what you
Right.
say. That's what you say to retarded kids. But Joe Biden saying Obama is clean. That's worse. Because clean could mean anything. Like, what'd you say? He has a clean criminal record? Like, what are you saying? He's clean.
Yeah, but then black people, we use the word clean in the exact same way. Ain't nobody dope as me. I'm just so fresh and clean. Was he talking about Ivory? Was he talking about Dawn dish liquid? Like, nah, he was fly.
Yeah.
So like we know what people mean. Sometimes we just want to be, we want to take that little point of privilege and be like, what do you mean when you say clean?
Okay. I don't be knowing what a 70-year-old white man mean when he say clean.
Right. I get it.
That's why I'm like, it could have meant so much stuff. It's like it could have been so okay, when they say a black politician speaks so well or he's so articulate, it sounds like they're saying he speaks well for a black person, for a black person. That's what it sounds like they're saying. So when he says he's clean, I didn't look at it as like so fresh and so clean, like he dressed sharp. I'm just saying that it just sounds like he was saying he has a clean record. He hasn't done nothing stupid. So, and there's technically nothing wrong with that because there's a such thing as a white politician who haven't made any major mistakes or gaffes or don't got a public situation where he's said something off the cuff or had some allegations or something like so there's a way to say that a white politician. I'm trying to think of an example. I'm trying to think of an example. Was Mitt Romney clean? Like Mitt Romney never had any nonsense on his record. I don't think. I don't know. So there's multiple interpretations of clean, and I'm not 100% sure where to go with it. But the articulate, the you speak so articulately. I don't hear them saying that about each other. So that one is it is a compliment and a slight at the same time. It is a compliment and a slight at the same. Well, it's a slight to everybody else that's black.
Perhaps.
Yeah, it's a slight. I mean, keep in mind. I mean, y'all know me. I don't sit here and complain about racism and look what them doing to us and all that. I ain't with that nonsense. But I take more of a sarcastic, comedic approach with when it comes to stuff like this. Like he's so articulate. I don't. It just is what it is. I mean, if they
like, would you rather me dumb? Like that's kind of my response to that. I get what you mean, how it does kind of feel like a slight on a certain level because it is like they expect you to be dumb.
Well, only thing I look for, and keep in mind, I've been kind of looking. There's certain things I file in the way in the back of my mind, and if I see it, like I'll try to find the confirmation bias. And so when I first started hearing him say things like said black politician or whatever, he speaks so well. Or whatever, or he's very articulate. I started looking out for and listening for. Let me hear if they hear him. Let me try to sit back and see if I see them or hear them say it about another white person. And it's extremely rare that you catch that. So then that leaves evidence to that saying it strictly off the basis of this person's race. If you understand.
Now, here's the pushback though, and this is where like black people, we do make a certain argument about our swag.
Mm-hmm.
since JFK, perhaps, I don't know if another president that was actually, dripping like Obama. Obama, I mean, listen, take the
You're right.
all the politics out, and you take like my dislike for what he has done in office, put all that aside, and just the man, the image, the message, the style. Motherfucker told us we're gonna heal the world, bro. He said after today, this is when the earth begins to heal, and I believed him. I was like, yes, we are healing the world. I don't get that from white people. I don't know any white politician that gave me that feeling. Fucking Chris Hayes was like, I got a tingle up my leg. I was like, whoa, this black man speaking made this white guy have a tingle up his leg. I don't know that white politicians have ever struck notes that great, so there's a little bit of another side to this thing too, man.
Yeah, okay. The swag factor. I get what you're saying. There's a certain Obama did have a certain amount of rhetorical, verbal, just wit, and for lack of a better word, just game. Like he used to spit that shit. So I get what you're saying. I 100% get what you're saying, and yeah. So I can rock with you on that. The next one is, now this is sort of a play on the same thing, where you say, well, as opposed to saying you speak so articulately. This one, you're actually really smart. I haven't heard nobody say that. It was one job that I had that I was real good at. That I was operating a machine that, for whatever reason, other people at the place couldn't really operate it. And I wasn't always just the know-how go-to guy. It was some jobs where I wasn't the best at it. But for whatever reason, the way my brain worked, this particular machine and those particular blueprints and I for whatever reason, I was able to do it faster and quicker and better than everybody else. So they would, say, I was called smart a few times at that place, and I didn't look at it saying that it wasn't like a race thing. It was based on I was doing something that other people couldn't do as well. And so yeah. I didn't take it like that. I didn't take it like that at all. So I don't know if that's a thing where white people literally are saying to black people like, oh, you're actually really smart. Maybe the white person who sees a black person at a high position or job, and let's just say if they're one of those, they just assume you're one of those diversity hires. But the black person coming there and just completely kick ass and outperform everybody, then it's like, oh, my bad, you're smart for real.
You just jumped on something. You kind of came at it from a slightly different angle than I first thought of. But as long as black people are celebrating, like, the first black whatever, it kind of leaves it open to be surprised. Like, okay, because black people legit don't do this whatever thing because you're the first. So you can't kind of take such offense to these kinds of things. It's par for course. You just got to take it with grace, man. And I don't know that it's strictly racial because, like, other people aren't surprised when someone is actually smart. Like, I'm surprised every now and then by how smart another person is. It happens.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Damn it, you said something I was about to jump on. Shit. But no, I think we said it. We said it all with that one. We said it all with that one. So
number 11, I think.
Number 11. Who taught you how to? I never heard that one.
Yeah, again, this is coming out of the UK. They got straight out of Africa. So maybe there's a little bit of
maybe that's a thing. I remember I was shocked the first time when I first found out that how common English is in Africa. I was shocked when I found that out. So maybe when they get the influx of immigrants, they probably do have a wait a minute. Where did you learn? They want to know where they learned it. That could be a thing.
Yeah, and there is a lot of the what's that thing called, the white savior sort of idea, but in reality there are tons of foreigners all over Africa just doing ostensibly doing good stuff, but teaching them to speak English at the same time.
All right, Glitter Girl says, do they tell Asians, oh, you're so smart? No, because that's their stereotype. They're
Right.
expected to be smart. They get shocked when you get shocked when you find a dumb Asian, which I
Really? No, you get like racially offended when you see a stupid ass Asian. It's like, boy, what's wrong with you? Like you Chinese. You're not supposed to be like this.
Now I shouldn't say this because my channel is getting bigger to the point where I don't know if everybody I know about my channel, but most of the people that matter know about it. So now when I tell stories, people are gonna be able to figure out who I'm talking about. So I just gotta, but I'm still about to go with this one. It's gonna be so easy if you know me to know who I'm talking about here. But unfortunately, I'm still gonna make this point. Like, I'm not calling this person dumb, but he went to an all. He was the only Asian kid at an all black school, and that school was not known for that school wasn't known for high test scores, to put it mildly, and so I'll just go ahead and say it. This Asian kid used to be in there getting mediocre, par for the cause grades, just you and copying off of black people. It was it was like I didn't think nothing of it then because I just didn't I just wasn't thinking like that. But well, actually no, I did think that. By my senior year, I think I almost got into an argument with him where that was if we would have reconvened the back and forth we had, that was my next play that I was going to pull out on him. That that you an Asian kid at an all black school sitting there copying off people's paper. Get the hell out of here.
You the only Asian kid to ever copy off a black kid's test, bro. What the hell?
I was going to hit him with that but it was lighthearted. It was lighthearted. It was like,
and then next it would have been, you bring shame to your people.
yeah.
Y'all would have had the karate fight after that, bro.
But the fact of the matter is, he so it happens. It happens where there's an Asian kid who's not super smart. That it happens, but that's their stereotype. And with all stereotypes, there's either a lot of truth in it or a grain of truth in it. And a lot of truth in that when it comes to Asian people is look at their freaking test scores. Look at their, when I think it was Harvard, I forgot which school, they made it strictly 100% test scores on what got you in. And Asians who were like 3% of the population were like 40% on a particular college campus. And then I think they did something about it and they came up with other stuff. And I think Asian people started suing for affirmative action. I forgot all the details of it, but you could more or less follow the story. That they was like, hey, if we're better and this is the criteria to get in, and we dunking on everybody, intellectually or educationally, we dunking on y'all, then it is what it is. Y'all not trying to equalize how many the population percentage representation when it comes to the NBA. Don't do that with other stuff where we can dunk on everybody in this field. And they made a compelling argument that they was basically saying that, hey, if we're scoring the highest on the test and the benchmark to get in is how you score on the test, then goddamn it, let us in. 3% of the population about to be 40% stumping the yard on the college campus. Is what it is. Yeah. So again, go ahead.
That Harvard thing is almost literally blacks versus Asians. That's who the Asians are really mad at. Not mad at directly, but those are the two sides of the argument essentially. And so we'll see how that plays out because that's about to go to the Supreme Court pretty soon.
They're mad because I guess the affirmative action or whatever the hell is getting more black people in who scored lower, and then the Asians are saying, wait, that's leaving us out.
Right.
That's essentially the argument. Now,
more or less, they want what they're deserved. They want what they feel they earned.
Mm-hmm.
And they're making the argument that black people. Well, because of the admissions policy, you're admitting a lot of black people who just by the standard haven't earned their spot, and Asians feel some type of way. Now they're making a legal case out of it. This is the problem with the diversity hire concept and the affirmative action. This is really an extension of just affirmative action as an idea, and these are the problems that it leads to eventually.
All right. Moving on. Okay.
Number 12. Yeah, I was just looking at this. I was kind of laughing at this. Is kind of messed up, bro. Like, I don't know if there's any way to cover this one up. This is just raw.
You know so many words.
like that's the kind of stuff you say that to your girl in the middle of a fight, like, oh, you know a lot of words, don't you? Like,
yeah, that I mean, one, I never heard nobody say that, but two, if that's a thing, then yeah, they clowning. You can't cover that one up. Wow, to see here we go. This is what we were just talking about. Number 13. Wow, you got into Oxford. Were you a diversity candidate?
Yeah, I mean, you open the door for that, and it's not even necessarily your individual fault. It's just the system. It leaves the question open. How'd you really get here? We don't typically let black people here unless it's on a special pass. Let me see your special pass.
You make a sound point. You do make a sound point that as long as it's almost like this is what's happening. The diversity candidate thing, yes, that exists. A black person gets into Oxford, you're not supposed to ask if they got in because of that. But as long as it exists, somebody is going to see a black person on an Oxford on the campus, and then they're going to think, I wonder if they're a diversity candidate. But don't ever say nothing about it. Don't mention it, but they're going to think it because that's there. So it's a catch-22 in that regard. That it's like it's almost like everybody's going to think it because it's there, but don't say nothing about it. That's almost like it's like, what do you do with that?
Wow.
And somebody is saying Kwame Brown said that to Tommy Sotomayor in regards to what
exactly? Yeah,
probably when Tommy probably was talking about how he was in IBM or whatever the hell. I don't know. I forgot.
No, he told Tommy, you know so many words, probably.
Oh,
that's probably what he's talking about. No, oh man. But I was just thinking about this diversity hire thing. It kind of leaves you as the diversity hire. You're almost in the position of the guy who thinks the hooker loves him. You're never really sure of your position here, like really, like that is a very awkward place to be. Like, I know everybody says nice things to me while I'm here, but they're kind of supposed to.
Yeah, you are the all right, listen, I don't like to go there because listen, even if you get into Oxford or you get into Harvard on a curve, you're still really, really, really smart. But at the same time, you're a really, really smart person who they're looking at you like you're from the Make-A-Wish Foundation when you're walking around on the campus. Like it's a bad thing. It's a bad thing that's there, and people have it in the back of their mind. And I'm not even knocking it being there. They're okay. I'm divided on that. If the criteria is strictly a test and whoever scores higher on the test, that's the person that should be admitted. You can't be an American if you disagree with that. You're not Americaning, to make it a verb, you're not Americaning the right way. If the criteria is a test, somebody scores higher on the test and that person doesn't get in. However, there are aspects of it, like let's just say for like a job working construction, where a high school diploma, an alarm clock to wake your ass up in the morning, and some steel toe boots is all that's required to show up and work. it shouldn't be a racial discrepancy in that, provided that black people are applying for those jobs. So I don't mind a little bit of affirmative action in jobs like that. I don't necessarily care for it when it comes to something that has set qualifications and credentials to make it into, like take it to the military. There was always a certain amount of pull-ups, push-ups that you got to be able to do. You got to be able to I don't know what okay, I don't know all the details, but isn't it something like you got to be able to lift or carry a certain amount of something, whatever it is. I don't think they should lower it for I don't think they should lower that for women, you see. So if I'm going to be consistent, there are certain things that I don't want to see it lowered, but and it's stuff that don't even apply to me because I'm not even in the runnings to get into, I never was in the runnings to get into Harvard or any major university like that. But just overall, just looking at it from the outside looking in, no, I don't like it. I don't like it. I think I probably forgot what major point I was trying to make here, but yeah, I don't like it. Leo 008 in the building says that's not the argument. White people are challenging the Asians. So
I think that's supposed to be so it benefits their white children at Harvard. I think it's just a typo.
So white people are challenging Asians. That's the thing.
I think it's a little bit more complicated than that. Of course, white people are in the mix in some capacity, but it's an affirmative action case. White people just directly aren't really at play in affirmative action. This tends to be between the minority groups.
Mm. Yeah. That's true. That's true. I mean, that is what rings true in this whole situation. All right, let's move on. There was a point that I wanted to make that I forgot about, but we're just gonna move on.
We're at 14. It says, don't research race. You'll end your career before it's even started.
What do they mean by research?
I wonder if they're talking about like genetics, race realism. You know how people get hypersensitive about IQ. That may actually be a professional bit of advice right there. I could see some don't turn over certain rocks in the university environment sort of advice being given.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, that's one. Okay. We'll move on. In the interest of time, we're not going to belabor that one. He says, are you first in your family to be educated? Okay. That's the thing that comes out of the mouth of a lot of black people where, you hear a lot of black people say, I'm the first one in my family to go to college, so,
right.
But other people aren't supposed to, ask. So,
yeah. So are you supposed to get offended at the mere asking of that question? Yeah, maybe not.
Okay.
You don't sound black at all, though. I wonder if there are black people who are actually like not bothered by that. Maybe even slightly like, why? Yes, thank you. I don't sound black. Like, are there black people who kind of take it that way? I'm curious. Like, I want to ask SKC that question for some reason.
Well, see, here's the thing. SKC sounds black to me, even though he speaks very good, proper English. Hell, Barack Obama, who we was mentioning earlier, he sounds black. Neil deGrasse Tyson sounds black. The point that I'm making is sounding to me, sounding black or not sounding black is more with the tone of your voice than what it is your ability to speak proper English. If you understand what I'm saying. Like if I never saw Barack Obama in my life or Neil deGrasse Tyson, I just heard them speaking, I would easily come to the conclusion that they're a black person. Now, one of my favorite people to talk to online is Game Changer, and Game Changer, he sounds white. He sounds white, but it's not because he speaks proper English. It's tone and pitch of the voice that gives that away. So
I think I agree. Generally, I think I agree, but I want to ask something. Okay. Is there because I think there may just be a general difference in like the tonality of and it's gonna be weird to even say that, melanated people, but like I feel like most of the time I can tell the difference when I'm talking to a black person, and it has nothing to do with, them sounding ghetto.
Yeah.
Like there's just a certain different kind of tone. And I don't know if it's purely like cultural, like regional linguistic things, like you grew up around white people. Like sometimes it's just, you just sound black. And I don't know how else to describe it but that.
Yeah. You speak proper English, but you sound pretty damn black to me. I mean, even if you didn't have an avatar up of a picture of a black person there, if I just heard you talk and you just had a sunset as your picture, that's all I saw is a sunset, just anything, a goddamn white backdrop, anything, or a black backdrop. If I heard you speak, I would assume you were black just by the tone of your voice. And there is something slightly in the cadence that even when a black person is speaking proper English, it's just certain. It's a subtle difference in the cadence. You can get a white person speaking proper English, a black person speaking proper English. It's still something there that you could hear. But for me, it's mostly in the tone.
I'm telling you, it's the melanin, bro. It's the melanin. It's all I can think. It's all I can think of. It's something in the melanin.
Yeah. Like you wouldn't, I guarantee you, if you never saw Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, close your eyes and you hear Philip Banks and even Carlton Banks talking. If you had to guess, you definitely say Philip Banks was black. I mean, but and he spoke English. Even Jeffrey, for that damn matter, you probably could even tell that Jeffrey was black just from listening to him. Yeah, with the perfect English and a damn English accent. You probably would be down maybe 50. Okay, I would have to listen to him talk with my eyes closed and do the test, but you probably would still assume. So for me, the talking white thing, a lot of it comes more to it comes more down to tone and pitch. There's plenty of black people that speak proper English that nobody ever says they talk white. But if you sound, I was about to do an impression. This is where you start sounding white. If you sound like that guy who, you know how when black comedians from the 90s do an impression of a white guy, if you sound like that, then you sound white, and that's how, shout out to Game Changer. Game Changer sometimes sounds like a black comedian doing an impression of a white guy. That's when you sound white to me, when you're all the way on that spectrum, or again, if it's just, the tone. But anyway.
Yeah, I'm looking at the next one here, number 17. Teach me some slang. What's wrong with that? And I would laugh. Listen, if any white friend would have just blatantly asked me something like that, first I would laugh like hell because it's fucking retarded to even ask something like that. But then I would teach you some slang after we got done laughing. Like, what's so offensive about that? Teach me some slang. I feel like that movie. You remember The Last Dragon at the end when he's like, "Can you teach me some moves?" Like, that's how some people are. They just want to be down, bro.
The only time that's a real problem is, let's just say you've met this black person in a professional setting. They've been nothing but professional, and you've never heard them say anything slang. It's sort of like the Keeping It Real Goes Wrong skit on Dave Chappelle's show, where he's sitting there in like a little corporate office, a round table, and then after they got through with the meeting and did whatever they did to close the deal, and then all of a sudden everybody was all professional, but all of a sudden the white guy says, "All right, yeah, give me some skin." It's like, hold on, man, don't try to force some slang out of me. I came professional. I didn't deliver any slang to this conversation. Don't try to slip it in there. So try to, it's like right. That's where they get goofy with it. That's where it's wrong to say.
Nah, I'll tell you one thing. I had this experience at a different job. I was some Asian guy. He was like my supervisor, but he and I were cool, and we were in a basement, just boxing up, like putting garbage. We were getting the garbage together, take it out. I was like working in a grocery store, but anyway, we were just down there talking and stuff, and he had said something to me. And he kind of put on this little, like, this hood dude kind of vibe. And like, how you just said to me, like, I talk kind of proper for the most part, especially like when I'm, you know, like code switching and all that stuff. If I'm not around like my people, I'm going to work. I'm not gonna carry myself in a way that you can feel like you can open the door to talk to me some type of way. So
Exactly.
I was real mindful of that whole dichotomy. And anyway, so we were down there joking. He and I, we were cool. Like never had a problem before, but he said something and he was like in some kind of yo boy homie way. And I just stopped and I looked at him like, yo, I don't talk like that. And he just totally dropped it and kept going. Cause like it was just one of those things like, nah, bro, you're not about the hood nigga me. Like I don't appreciate that.
Right. But that's how it is. We don't want stuff like that to happen unless we're the one that started. If we initiated, then okay, we got that relationship. We can play around like that. But if I don't play around with you like that, white dude, don't you come at me talking about some yo homie yo type shit. I didn't introduce that to the conversation. And I go back to something I always said that, you know, black people be constantly checking white people. It's like we don't even realize just how much we got them checked to the point to where they gotta speak like we make them speak like children when they come to certain, you know, obviously, I mean, that the N-word is coming down the line in this list of things that you never say to a black person.
I just realized, bro, that's literally what they mean when they talk about microaggressions. I literally just told the story of a microaggression.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was woke. I was so woke.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what else we got.
Anyway.
Oh, speaking of work, now we're at work. Number 18. Mm-hmm. We can't attract or keep black employees. It's like they don't want to work. Ooh. I ain't saying nothing.
I think that is something that white people say amongst themselves. I don't know if they say that to I don't know if they say that to other black people. I just don't think they do.
I'm with you on that. I do believe that is a part of the conversation at some point.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I've seen it happen where, you know, they hire some, I've seen black people get hired at a job and it not work out for whatever reason. You know, could have been some bullshit. Could have been just this particular employee who just was. I don't see that's a hard one. That's a hard one for me to go down because one, I've never heard nobody say that, but I can see that they say it, and it's been times when I've seen people on the job, new people, but I've seen it with white people too. I've seen them on the job, and I could just tell how they was moving in that first week and how the training was going. And I was just sitting there thinking, nah, this dude ain't gonna work out. So I don't know if the turnaround, the new hire turnaround rate is worse when it comes to a black person, where it's like, so I can't even speak to this one. I can't even speak to this one. But again, they say that the hiring, the white folks who do the hiring probably say that amongst themselves. I'll say that.
I wonder. Like, let's say you're in a black city, you know, Baltimore, Washington D.C. or something like that, and you're a black guy trying to run, like, I don't know, a shoe store or a restaurant or something. Do you still have the same experience? Just a thought.
You said a black guy trying to run a shoe store.
Yeah, any kind of small business in like a black district where, like, you know, the majority of the people coming in your to work at least probably gonna be black. Mm-hmm. I wonder if do black people have this same experience? Because, you know, black people we criticize each other amongst ourselves anyway. So I wonder how black managers would describe their relationship with their black staff.
Now I see where you're going. I talked about it before, where it was one company that I worked for where it was owned by a black man and the hiring manager or supervisor was black. This was like a factory that made parts for General Motors. So it was kind of like a GM plant. We just didn't get paid GM money. And
it's serious business then.
Yeah, it was a real serious business. And so the hiring supervisor and manager was black, and no, to his credit, and I give him props for that, 97% of the people in there was black, of the employees. And he he was tired of them niggas. I just say that. I'll say that he was about tired of niggas, and so yeah, some people that worked there didn't like him, and yeah, hey, you got to fire people, but the thing is, there's a quick turnaround rate with a lot of jobs like that. People get hired, they don't work out in the first week, they get out of there, bid them in, get them in, they get them in, they get them out, but so I'm saying all of this to say, and I think the HR chick was black, the hiring supervisor was black, everybody that worked at that physical location was black. And a lot of the same problems exist, and it just is what it is. But I'm sitting there trying to think back and figure out. I don't know if I saw that much of a difference with places that I worked where over 90% of everybody was white. You will see white people come in and work the job and be a slacker and get fired, and they bring somebody else in, work the job, they slacken, they get fired, and eventually you get a good employee who come in on time, do the job, do it right, and go home. So you would have to really be in HR or the hiring supervisor and really pay attention to it for a period of time before you can truly break down the percentages and know that it's not just confirmation bias of whether or not these niggas is showing up on the job bullying at a higher percentage rate. Possible, but I don't know. I don't know. But to your point, black people, when they're in that position and they got to deal with other niggas, I'm sure they have similar complaints and laments. Like I've heard it. I've heard it. But
yeah, I tend to agree on a smaller scale. But yeah, I've noticed similar things. We don't necessarily all work smoothly together. Put it that way.
Hell no.
Let's see. We're at number 19. I'm so sorry. I didn't think you worked here after calling security. Ooh, yeah, never even heard that one. Well, that actually has happened to certain people, though. Didn't I? Yeah. I played a story, something like that, when I think one of the first shows we did like this, some guy, he was like the owner or the superintendent or whatever of the school, and he got stopped by a security guard who didn't really recognize him, and he told this whole BS story about how it made him feel and all that.
Oh, but yeah, we did that. Yeah, we did that one together actually.
Right.
But the guy, he had the little pink, had the lime green pinky fingernail.
Yeah.
That was.
I don't know how big a thing this is.
I could see it being a thing. I could see it being a thing. I don't know how much it happens, but it happens. I wouldn't put that past it happening. If somebody is new to a job, let's just put it like this. If somebody is new to a job, they have a high up position, they had a resume that dictates that they should have that high up position, they get hired, they go through the orientation or whatever, they got their badge and they just start walking right in, and they're getting past areas where only a few people can badge into that area, and then somebody just see this black person just walking by, and they're like, oh, hello, that black people, we hate this. That, can I help you? I'm like, no, bitch, can I help you? Anyway, but yeah, they get that can I help you at a job that they're high up in management on. They're getting a can I help you from somebody who works underneath them. I understand that I understand that happens. I understand that happens. But yeah,
I suppose these things are real. I mean, and this is somewhat, I guess, more of like corporate world will probably experience this more often than not.
Yeah. All right,
and then number 20. It's funny. We just sort of laughed about this being the other black guy in the room. You should meet X. You'll really get on, and you're both being black. Like that's a 50-50, because we tend to look for that too. If you're the one black guy in the space and then you happen to notice, oh, there's another brother over there, like you do become at least curious, like, all right, how'd you wind up here?
Yeah. I mean, it was a place I worked. I was the only black dude for a long time, and then they start hiring other black people. And yeah, as soon as they start hiring other black people, I eventually met a guy who was hey man, it was like, for a brief moment that we was working together, we was like best friends, so it happens. It happens. So white people observe that, but don't say nothing about it.
Like, could you imagine the white people? Oh, look, they're playing.
like they set us up on a play date. Like that's what they said.
Yes. Oh snap! All right. All right. That's just weird. All right. Let's move on. Okay. We were just laughing at this earlier, but I swear it keeps popping up. Number 21. I love your hair straight. It looks so much more professional. Now you know right away who this is about.
Yeah.
They're going to get the law passed. I'm telling you, it's going to be the Weave Act. And imagine after the Weave Act, a few more years go by and they'll be like the Federal Weave Protection Agency. Like they're really going to protect their wigs because of people asking odd questions like this. Like, ugh.
But
well, not even a question.
They're protecting themselves from getting asked a question. Like how does that even, how does that even work? How is that even a thing? Like, are they going to make it hate speech to ask a question? Like, I'm just trying to figure out how does that play out? That's what I want to know.
Well, all right. Well, look at the way it's phrased. Let's kind of reset a little bit because it's saying, "I love your hair straight. It looks so much more professional." So right out, you're starting out with the standard quote European beauty norms. Straight hair is by default professional looking. So black women are saying that, well, black hair isn't naturally straight. So our natural look isn't professional. To a certain degree, I can see the discomfort at that kind of position. I do understand where women are coming from, at least. For men, I don't know that it's ever going to be a thing because most men don't really have long hair issues, and that's more of a rare choice among men. Most men, black men especially, don't really have long hair. Dreadlocks are just now sort of becoming a bigger style, biggest probably than ever. I mean, it's bigger now than it has ever been as far as dreadlocks go. But really, this is a woman thing, a black woman thing in particular. Huh. Just in the spirit of charity, like I would really love to talk to black women about this.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay. I mean, when you say you really love to talk to black women about the straight hair at the workplace thing. I mean, I've had some conversation with some of them about that. Just
like how big a deal is it really? Because like, I mean, obviously, I'm a dude. I would never know how bad a woman's hair struggles really are. I would have never cared until it became a federal thing.
Yeah, okay. I don't know how big of a thing it is. I've made this point before, and I'm getting tired of making it. I think that they more or less that a random white person will make a randomly weird statement about the hair, and yeah, I understand it. It's annoying, but overall, when I see black people producing media, whether it's TV shows, or whatever they're putting out there, TV shows, videos, you name it, no matter how it's being put out there and presented it, I see black people producing more media where black women have straight hair or weave. When white people produce it, the black person normally has natural hair the majority of the time. Now, I don't know how that translates over to the workplace, but you can see a concerted effort in white America when you look at any commercial. Just watch. I've been telling you how to do this for a while. Just start paying attention. When you're watching TV, any commercial comes on, if there's a black woman in that commercial, she's going to have natural hair. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Her hair is going to be some variation of what Jackie Jack's hair is in the picture. From what you can't see it, it's small. I mean, you kind of can see it, but it's easy. She got like little Afro puff back there. You're going to see something like that. I can hear a little background feedback too, by the way. I can hear my voice speaking in the background, but yeah, you're gonna see something like that. It might not be orangey orange or whatever color that is. Shots fired, but shout out to Jackie Jack. but no, but yeah, you're gonna see that. You're gonna see that. So as far as what I could tell, white America, they're seemingly okay with natural hair. I mean, all of this diversity, inclusion, we are the world, we are the children, the shit that go on, the liberalism. That's one aspect of it, that accepting all people of all differences or this or that or blah blah blah. I don't think they're tripping about the damn hair. I really don't. I think the hair thing is about their own personal feels, and black people. I think that's more about that. I don't think people are tripping about hair being straight or natural. Now, if you just walk in there with just your shit wild, I can understand. I can understand that some may have if it's wild and unstyled, I can get it, and some may have a problem to making a distinction between black hair that's more styled and neater versus black hair that's just wild and all over the place. Some of them could probably have a problem with that, and that's where that weird person comes in. But everybody else, they're not trying to get canceled or sued or anything, So definitely, if she could say it's affecting her job, that they're saying things about her hair, higher ups are saying things like that's a racial lawsuit that could damage a company to some degree. So they're not trying to do that. And Jackie Jack responded that okay, she says, don't do me like that, it's supposed to be honey blonde. Okay, it look orange, it's orange, but all right.
Let's see the next one. 22. How do you make your money? I've never had anyone ask me a question like that. I've asked people, where do you work? Or sometimes, what do you do is really the phrase. But how do you make your money? I've never really had that come at me. Is that a British thing?
Only way I could see somebody asking the question, how do you make your money? If you see somebody who look, it's two scenarios. We're going full stereotype here. Let's just say if somebody just got a bunch of tattoos all up to their neck and just got a certain gold chains and jewelries, and you see them flying first class, and they basically, if they look like a rapper and they're flying first class or whatever, and somebody they might even ask, what do you do? They may ask the question, how do you make their money? Because they probably thinking like, oh, I wonder, is he a celebrity? Or if you see like a 6'10" black guy flying first class, yeah, they probably, okay, they might think he played for somebody. You know what I mean? So that they may ask the question like that, how do you make your money? Like their assumption is, just looking at him aesthetically, he don't make his money through normal means. He don't have a 9 to 5. So that's
so funny. You immediately went to like the black ball player stereotype,
Yep.
or the athlete or whatever.
Yep.
But while you were talking, you know what just popped into my head? Have you ever seen Wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that is the literal conversation that the one dude had with Leonardo DiCaprio. He flat out asked him, "Yo, how do you make your money?"
Yeah,
was it really that?
He saw him pull up in a damn, did he see like a car? What prompted him to ask the question? I forgot.
I don't even remember. Like I'm just sort of like remembering that one phrase, and it was like, wow, he really did that, and that was the conversation. Next thing you know, they got this whole business going. But I do remember that was their initial like first business discussion. He flat out asked him, "So how do you make your money?" And next thing you know, Leonardo DiCaprio was like, "Look, quit your job right now, come work for me." And dude's on the phone quitting his job. Like it went boom, 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 just like that.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That I didn't even think about that. He did ask him. There was legitimate reason for him to ask, how do you make your money? It was a legitimate reason. I forgot what that legitimate reason was. And as they point out other movies, Boiler Room, which I haven't seen, but Will Smith's Pursuit of Happiness, I think that question was asked there. If you see somebody who look like they're making a lot of money, but they're just walking around kind of nonchalant in the middle of the day, driving a really nice car, got a nice suit, like you could tell this person, if you could look at him and tell that this person is absolutely paid, but you can't really tell at all what they do, that's where that question can come up random, like, how do you make your money? Yeah. So yeah.
And I'm seeing people in the chat respond with other examples. Maybe this is like somewhat of a class thing too. You know, at a certain level, people are just not really embarrassed to even ask or answer the question.
Yeah, well, black people probably feel some type of way about that because what we hear is them saying you're
Who
not
told you I
supposed
sell
to be.
drugs? That's literally what we hear. Who told you I sell drugs?
Yeah, yeah, all day, all day. Yeah, that's yeah.
Let's
Agreed.
see. Number 23. We'll address it, but just be careful not to play the race card after reporting a racial incident. Yeah, this is very much a corporate environment thing. I don't even have a baseline point of reference for something like this.
Yeah, it sounds like they're saying that this is how I see it. A black person went to the company or whatever with a complaint that something happened at the job, and they said, okay, we'll address the thing, but they're basically saying just don't go full gangster playing the race card on us after we try to address this issue. I actually understand where they're coming from. If I'm taking this from the right angle, I understand where they're coming from. I worked with a guy who he sued. Let's see, he sued GM. I worked with him, and he sued GM. I think he sued Chrysler. He said he sued two of the big three in the automotive company, and won because he was pulling up at a job where we was making not even that much money. He was pulling up in a Cadillac truck, and then pulled up the next day in another. Like he bought his wife, I think a DTS or something like that, and he bought a Cadillac truck. So he had two Cadillacs. And so he pulling up at this job making, not even that much money, just basically it was a very basic entry level blue collar job. And he pulling up in Cadillacs, a different one each day. Because him and his wife, they'll sometimes switch the cars or whatever. But and so eventually, there's that question. How did you make your money? They wanted to know how he got the Cadillacs. I did too for that matter. And then so essentially what would end up happening is the same stuff that he did at those other companies, he was gearing up to do at the company that I was working at. Any little thing, any little microaggression, and to keep him saying, and the crazy thing is, he used to walk around in there calling them crackers. Let's just throw that out there. He would be like, man,
Yo, this is so retarded.
Hey, I am not bullshitting. He used to be walking around there. He used to be talking to me. One, I used to get mad because he was lumping me into it. I'm just there doing my job. That was the job I worked at where they used to call me smart because I was able to run that machine real good.
It's like, wait, I'm the smart one. I am not with this nigga.
But he used to come up to me like, man, can you believe these crackers? But saying it in the earshot of everybody is like, hold on, dude. Hold on. I'm actually cool with these crackers, okay? So like we can talk privately about these crackers, but don't try to lump me in with whatever revolution you about to try to start at the job. Like, no, I come here, I do my job, I get my check, I go home. But he came in there trying to instigate a situation where somebody say something to him, and then he could go ahead and sue. And lo and behold, I found this out because I quit working there, but I found out sometime later. Damn, I'm trying to think. Did that happen first or after the fact? I can't remember. Long story short, I know he stopped working there because it was a situation where they finally got rid of him because he said something to somebody. He made a statement. They couldn't really get him on the calling him cracker stuff because it was hard to really get that on record. But they got him on some sexual harassment type stuff, which he really didn't sexually harass nobody. He just made a comment about two other people that worked there, and he basically said that they would look at. He's like, I could tell they fucking, she ain't nothing but a hoe. They all hoes, or he said something crazy like that. And then the chick heard about it and got offended and reported it, and so they ended up firing him. That was essentially what happened. They got him out of there. But lo and behold, when they fired him, what did he do? Filed a racist lawsuit on them, and tried to get the bag off of them. I don't know if he got it. I don't know if he won. I haven't been in contact with any of them, but he came in hot trying to start some racial shit. And then eventually he got fired, and then he tried to sue their ass, but he came in riding the Cadillac from the last job that he sued. So yeah, that's a whole damn thing. So when they say we'll address it, but just be careful not to play the race card, I understand why they will say that, because there are some black people at the job who they understand the dynamics and the circumstances. And listen, in the don't hate the player, hate the game, respect the game aspect of it. If he working those jobs that don't pay a whole lot of money, and he know he can bounce around and go to another one and get another one, it's like he go in there on some, I'm about to try to steal a bag off these white folks, and he successfully did it twice. I don't know how many racist lawsuits he's filed or had them in court, but he got GM and Chrysler to settle. So this other smaller company might as well try to get them to say. And I don't hear that background noise no more. It looks like I don't know if you did something about it. But no, I said I don't hear it. But yeah. So that is something that they're on guard for, because black people they do that quite a bit when something happened that's a little racial. Yeah, some of them will have their ass in court.
All I will say is it's a dirty game, and I do kind of understand the respect the player, don't hate the game, don't hate the player, hate the game. I get that, and he is using the rules in an amoral way to succeed at an exorbitant rate, apparently too. He's driving around caddies and whatnot. If you can use the rules to win that way, it's the rules' fault, not your fault.
Yeah. That's where I'm at with. I don't play that game, but that's clearly what he was doing, and so again, that's where they be on pins and needles in some situations when they they got a black person in the job who's about that action. It just is what it is. So yeah, they be legit worried about that. They don't be wanting the race car to be used against the company, and then especially nowadays where everything is on everything plays out on Twitter. And let's just say it's a big name company, a reputable company. Let's say it's Starbucks or something. They didn't got perp walked through social media plenty of times over some shit. Like, so yeah, they don't be wanting that to happen. But on to the next one.
Number 24 says, "I like you. You're surprisingly professional." Yeah, I've never had the pleasure. No one, like, who talks like this? Like, I mean, I know they're just really odd and rude people out there. So I could imagine someone would hear this sooner or later. But like, yeah, where does this come from?
Yeah, I've never heard that one. I've legit never heard that one. You said, let's see, I like you. You're surprisingly professional. I see how that's possible that somebody could throw that out there, but it's two things. There's an aspect of black people at the job who be clowning and be cutting up. Then there's another aspect of black people at the job who go the extra mile to dot every I and cross every T to make sure that they don't get lumped in with the stereotype of the niggas who be cutting up at the job. So the person who's dotting every I and crossing every T, I understand that they getting offended. Yeah, y'all lumping me in with them niggas. So yeah.
Well, it's not for me. It's not an issue of surprise. I'm relieved that you ain't like one of those, you ain't one of them niggas, but it's not a surprise because like after like how long has it been since, like, I don't know, Jackie Robinson? Like, when did we start being the first to do whatever? So you, at this point, you shouldn't be that surprised to see professional black people. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's annoying to see so many black people who aren't professional, but having a few professional people around shouldn't be a shock to you either. Like I said, I'm just more relieved.
If I was the first to do something, I understand why they announce it when it's the first to do it. But so I remember when the first black head coach in the NFL won a Super Bowl, they announced it. I was like, okay, cool. The second time it happened, they announced it. The third time, I was like, okay, enough. Enough. Could y'all stop announcing it every time? we do so like okay, I can see us all the way in 20 the year of 2045, and it's like um, Jerry Jenkins is the 17th black head coach to win a Super Bowl. It's like, okay, at some point black people doing stuff and accomplishing stuff is just normal, and we can just leave it alone, and we don't got to announce it every time. Like, yeah, that's where that gets annoying. Just to piggyback on what you were saying about the first to do something, but anyway.
Right. Black people being good at stuff isn't really a surprise any longer. Like, you got to step your game up to get some real notice now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Number 25 says, you could definitely pass as one of us.
Oh shit.
Ew, I don't even know how to. Yeah, how do white people even swing them? Like well, pass is not the proper word, but I mean, yeah, white people will certainly adopt you into their little clique, but I don't know if pass is one of us is how it would ever be described. You just be one of us. Pass is, I don't know what you mean by that at all.
Black people use that term. She could pass for white. I don't think white people use that term. I think that's us. We say that all the time. Somebody could pass for white. That go back to the previous thing that we were talking about, the you must be mixed thing. Yeah, but white people not doing that shit, as far as I know.
Right. That's the thing about this list. I'm noticing some of it feels like little just black insecurities. Like
a lot,
26.
Yeah, a lot of that should be like that. But go ahead.
Number 20.
What?
You must be struggling through COVID. Yo, who the hell? How do you even think to say something like that? All right. Number 26, you must be struggling through COVID, responding to inequality statistics. Oh man. So imagine like a white person just, looks up from their newspaper and looks at you. Oh, you poor thing. The COVID must be just terrorizing your life.
God damn. I got nothing on that one, man. I got nothing.
Yeah.
I understand that they see some of the statistics that are bad, and they wonder if this black person has encountered any of that. I understand, but I don't. That's ridiculous. If somebody do that. I mean, I've never seen that. But all right.
All right, moving on to identity here. This one looks a little nuts. That's why I put the screen back down, because some of these are just, we gotta. Oh wow.
All right. Do you have number 27?
Yeah.
Do you have a mom? Do you have a mom and a dad? I hate that they call it mom. Do you have a mom and a dad? Okay.
No,
we can't pretend. We can't. Yeah, I know, but we can't pretend like the stats don't exist. But still, I don't think I've never heard them just outright ask that. I never heard them just.
But look, even in Britain, the stats must be high. Think about what that means, though. Across the pond, the black family problem is consistent.
That I didn't know. I will look into that. Okay, there we go. That's a horrible joke. But okay, these new kids on the block, they have a completely different experience when it comes to race. Like, they just laugh about the shit. It's like not a big deal. They don't care. So my son, he has a clique of friends. And there's one. It's a black or blackish kid in the clique. And but the rest of them it's a blackish kid, a Mexican kid, and some white kids that's kind of in this little group or whatever. When I was picking them up from school, and and then he was getting in the car or whatever, or he saw my car, and then he had separated from his friends, like all right, said all right, bye or whatever, and then no, I think one of them said, hey, I think that's your dad picking you up, or because I had honked the horn or I was trying to get his attention. He was like, oh yeah, and he was like, oh yeah, that's my dad. And he like, as he walking away, he looked back at his friends and was like, see, I told you he exists, and then got in the car. like that's how nonchalant they are.
Wow, dude. Well, I had a almost opposite experience one time when my daughter, my oldest daughter, she was going to a school in one of these schools out here on the other side of Brooklyn by her mom. But I was picking her up from school one day, and it was a little girl. She had this is like the first week, mind you. And so this little girl she had like became friends with in her class. As I'm going to like I'm walking up to my daughter and I can hear the two girls talk. She asked my daughter flat out, "You got a daddy?" With like shock and awe. Like no, like yo, it blew me away. I had to go talk to her mom about it when I got home. I was like, yo, this is wow. The little girl flat out asked that. But I mean, yeah, what do you say to that kind of thing? You just sort of hear it and just keep it pushing. But like, she really asked the question. It just, I had so many questions about that girl's home life after that.
Man, that's wild. That's wild. Like my son, he does that just as a joke because him and his friends they just joke like that. I mean, they know that he lives with his dad and everything. It ain't no big deal. But it's just they're in a place where they play on the They play on the stereotypes of everybody of all races. They just have fun with it. It's not even it's not even a thing. It's not even a thing to them. So the whole do you have a mom and a dad? Like I don't know. Well, at least from my perspective, I don't think it's that much of a thing. I don't. But I don't think it's that much of a thing with the younger generation. And so it's.
Yeah,
but that's a question. That's a question only younger people would ask. Or that or that's maybe an older person would ask a younger person. You don't ask an adult, do you have a mom and a dad? So that's a conversation amongst kids. That's why I gave my only frame of reference with how kids talk about it. And I think this new generation of kids, I think they I don't know. I don't think they're asking like that, but maybe they are, maybe they're not. But I know. Anyway, number 28. Are you from Africa or Jamaica? Never heard of that shit, but.
Well, again, so this is from the UK perspective, and I mean that's probably where all their black people come from. And to be fair, even in America, where else do black people come from?
Yeah, how is that a problem? How is that a question you shouldn't ask? I don't get that one. I mean, there's nothing wrong with asking. Hell, we ask people where they're from all the time. Right. We did a show where I found out where you was from. I mean, you said your dad came. Well, I mean, you're from here. You were born here, but your dad.
My dad's from the Caribbean, right?
Yeah.
He's an illegal immigrant for a while. He was hiding under the radar.
Yeah, like how's that a major problem? That's somebody where they from, especially if it's in Europe. You say from Britain. Where does this come from? You said
yes, UK.
Okay, so this is from the UK. So yeah, that shouldn't be an issue. Like we know that people that are not white that are over there came from somewhere else. You can ask them where they came from. Now it's kind of different. It's a little different over here because we know obviously the history where most people know how black people got here, even though there's a little debate about that. But most people know how black people there is like it's more of a stupid question here. Well, not really. It's not a stupid question here. It's a question you don't ask as much here, but increasingly you have to ask it a little more because again, it's more immigrants. But over there, no, they got it. There's nothing wrong with asking that in the UK, as far as I can tell. Number 29. You're a good mix. They're going back to what I said. They say I can barely tell what that is, but they use the labradoodle.
A cockapoo or a labradoodle. I think a cocker spaniel and a poodle makes a cockapoo.
Yeah, but remember I was talking about them labradoodles earlier in the show. So yeah.
I guess they're in agreement with you. The labradoodles are a beautiful breed. Now this is where it starts to get like a little trigger in here. Do you snack on dry bones, Bernard?
Holy shit. Okay, yeah, that's not
Number 30.
Now they just being racist. Now they just being racist. It was some good curiosity questions going on before. Now they're just being racist. Okay.
Yo, no, let me tell you. Oh no. So my dad was married when I was a kid, and so my stepmom was from Ghana, and she had a couple of kids of her own. So we were living together for a little while. I remember when there was chicken, like we had like chicken for dinner or whatever. They actually crack the bones and suck the marrow out of the bones.
Oh, who did this? I forgot.
My Ghanaian, my African family members. So like snacking on dry bones is a little bit far, but like that was the first and only time I'd ever seen that before. But like, yeah, there are people who do just, they eat the marrow out of the bones, and I'm pretty sure you can do that with other animals. We were just eating chicken, but yeah, that is something. There's something to that, is what I'm saying.
Now I think I get it. I think I know where it's coming from. This is from the UK, and they got a lot of African immigrants. If you've ever seen an African eat some chicken, when I tell you, the little gristle part that you kind of like, you nibble the meat around it. No, they take all that. If you see some chicken bones after somebody who's from Africa got done eating them, they eat all that shit. It be looking like those bones be naked. They eat everything off that damn bone. So so maybe some people in the UK have seen the influx of African immigrants. I've seen them eating and how they eat, and I just think it's something culturally over there where they don't waste nothing. If it's edible, if it's on that animal and it's edible, it's getting ate. So maybe they interpret it like that. I mean, I if I Google an image of what these bones didn't look, I didn't know chicken bones looked like that. I've never. It's like I'm gonna have to Google it so y'all can know what I'm talking about. But no, they go in. They go in when they eat.
Yeah.
Somebody said, Aaron B says, "Yep, I'm from the UK." Yeah, so maybe that's where that comes from. Maybe that just not as racist as I thought. But I've seen some Kenyans. I've seen some Kenyans eat, and they eat with normal etiquette. Like you don't even notice that they're doing it. But that part of the chicken, that gristle at the edge of the bone, they and crunch that part down. Like I don't eat that part, but they do. My son actually do. My son does that for some reason. But no, I don't eat that part. But where are we at?
Number 31. Number 31 feels like we've covered this once or twice on the list. Where are you really from?
Yeah.
But number 32 is a little bit more interesting. And this is something slightly triggering to Black people. But I realized there is a bit of truth here that a lot of Black people are unaware of. When number 32 asks, can Black people really be Muslim? And the reason why I think it's triggering is just for all the talk of the white man's religion being imposed on the Black man, yada yada yada. From that's more of an American perspective. No one ever really talks about what Islam has done in Africa to Black people and how Black people became Muslim. I'm just saying it wasn't a bunch of missionaries. It wasn't a bunch of nice guys, preaching the word. It was by sword for the most part.
Okay, yeah, I don't know the full details of that. I don't know the full details of that. Right. Nad's Life says, I am first generation African American, all day, every day, but I want to tell all of my brothers in the chat on the panel, I love you. I love you. Yeah, the last time we heard a Black woman say, I love you, we were told to eat a dick right afterwards.
Yeah, yo, get the strap. I know what comes next, bro. Get the strap.
Oh man, but no, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that, and I appreciate the love. But but all right. Oh man, all right. Where we at? Where we at? What's the next one?
Number 33. Do you eat with your hands at home? Yeah, this is definitely about the Africans, bro. This because like I've never done it, and I swear they wouldn't let me eat it when I was a kid. I hated it. I just wanted to try it, but no, they used to eat fufu.
I don't know. I don't. That one I don't understand. What do they? I don't even know what they mean by do you eat with your hands at home.
Sorry, sorry, I had to clear my throat for a second. So it's this is an African dish. I forget exactly what it's made of, but I remember, like I tell you, my dad was married to a woman from Ghana, so I would see certain things and certain foods, like some of it was just delicious. But they never let me eat this one thing with them. And my stepmom and her daughter, her oldest daughter, they would just have this little thing between the two of them. And it would be like some kind of dough she would make, and like it would be like a I want to say maybe she boiled the dough a little bit, but it would be like a cooked dough, and she would take like peanut butter and melt it down and spice it up with stuff, and it would be like a dip, and she would dip the dough in the peanut butter, and that was like their little snack they would have, and they eat with their hands.
Okay. All right. That one I will move on from. I think the implication there is that they're asking, do you eat everything with your, like, if you do you eat spaghetti with your hands? Are you like, like that's what I interpreted the question. They asking a stupid question like that. But if there are some things culturally, or they culturally eat more stuff with their hands, then okay. I don't know. I don't know. But again, that's one that, again, I'm chalking up to the UK, and I don't know. But,
yeah. Number 30. Number 34, can we just use your initials? You know what? I respect that one. I'm going to give that one a pass. That's valid, because I feel the same way sometimes. And it's not even just Black people. Like when I do my show, I have kind of a broad audience. It's not just Black people in there. And I will get certain names. It's like, dude, are you Czechoslovakian or something? Like, what kind of name is this? And, we're just going to call you Czech. And that's, I can respect it. So, that's how it is. Sometimes these foreign names are hell on the English tongue.
Yeah. Yeah. So I agree 100% with that one. I agree 100% with that one. A lot of people have funny names that are hard to pronounce, and yeah, it's just easier to use an initial, and people shouldn't be triggered by that. And it is what it is. What it is. It is what it is. Especially at the job, people always develop nicknames at the job. So it's a okay. Damn, I just got thrown off and distracted.
No, nicknames at the job.
Nicknames at the job. Nicknames at the job. Yeah, nicknames at the job. So yeah, that's the thing. Okay, we got him. We'll go to the next.
Somebody's calling you the nickname right now. I see. But number 35, that smells funny. What are you eating? Again, this is a foreign food thing. Yeah, you got to take that on the chin. Some of the food does smell funny, but it tastes all right. But you got to learn for yourself. But that's just, being around foreigners. You're going to be like that, I suppose. That's probably anybody around anyone that's foreign to them.
Yeah. No biggie with that one. The other one, I was so shocked to see Black Jews on TV. Ooh, are they talking about the Black Israelites, the Hebrews?
I have no idea. You could come at this from so many angles, because there are like Black Jews like in Africa. You might have seen on a documentary. There are Black Jews in Israel. I mean, there are Black Hebrew Israelites all over the Western world. Like, who knows what you mean by that? But yeah, the first time ever, like Black Jews, yeah, that's weird.
It's weird. It's weird the first time. It's definitely. I remember my first time seeing that. It was weird. So. Yeah, this one, that one is not so much of a problem, them saying that. It was not so much of a problem, them saying that. 37, go ahead and get that one, because that's a little, I can barely see it anyway.
Yeah, Seoban, Swartz, and Lay get to keep their names, but your name is too hard to pronounce, so I'm going to call you X. Typically a westernized adaptation. This is kind of like the same one. Can we just use your initials? It's a little bit more racial, I guess, but it's kind of the same thing. Not everybody's going to be able to pronounce certain names. And it's like, look, if you're from Europe, saying European names probably isn't all that difficult for you.
Yeah, I don't see that one. I see more so people coming with people who come here to the States with like weird foreign sounding names. They normally embrace the nickname, so I don't see that's that much of a thing,
Okay, now we're moving on to what they call the bizarre. This is probably the last section here.
Yeah, okay.
Do you have any weed?
We can't sit here and act like the question. Like, yo, where the weed at? Like like that's the thing. Hold on, wait, time out. I never understood the question, where the weed at? Like, why are people asking that question? And my brother had to explain to me, like, no, the reason they ask where the weed at, because you don't want to, if let's just say you go to a new city and you want to buy some weed. You can't just go up to somebody that you don't know, like, excuse me, do you know where I could possibly acquire or find some weed? Do you know anybody who sells weed? So it's like, no. When you walking into like the liquor store, it's like, you see somebody who look like they might know, be like, hey, yo, where the weed at? And he might hook you up.
Is it a white guy?
Yeah, he might.
Is it a white guy?
Oh no, I'm talking about black people.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about black people. So that's why some of this stuff you can't get exactly mad at, because we have something in our culture, like an unspoken thing or an outright spoken thing, where we communicate certain stuff. And I was unaware of it, but somebody trying to find some weed in a place, you find somebody who you see somebody who looks like they might know, and you ask them, in a way that don't sound like, to where you don't sound like the police, just like, hey, yo, where the weed at? That, and he might hook you up with his dude that he get his weed from, or he might have some himself that he sells. You never know. But so a white person asking, do you have weed? I mean, yeah, they could probably ask it in a better way to where they don't sound like, where it don't sound intrusive. or like why the fuck you want to know? Like so we could try to make it not sound like that, but no, that is a common question. It is a common question.
Nah, I was talking about Hunter Biden last night, and apparently they had a house down in Florida at one point, and I was just pontificating, like, where does Hunter Biden buy crack from? Think about it, like, if you're Hunter Biden, you're the vice president's son. Where do you get crack? How do you get crack? And I'm like, so do you just leave your little mansion in the Everglades and you just drive around until you hit black people? How does Hunter Biden figure out how to buy crack? And like, I can just imagine, hey, do you have any weed? Like, Hunter Biden literally had to ask random black people that question at some point in his drug journey. I promise you, there's a black guy out there who Hunter Biden randomly walked up to him. Hey, do you have any weed? Like, I can see this happening. I just know this had to happen to somebody. We got to find this guy. The CIA probably killed that guy.
That's something I never thought about. Where does Hunter Biden get his drugs from? Never crossed my mind. But yeah, it has to be a thing.
There's a guy. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. There's a guy somewhere.
Yeah, there's a guy. That's funny.
Number 39. Why can't black people swim?
That is not just a I mean, one, it's an observation that if a white person makes, that black people are less likely to. There's less black people that swim. That's an accurate observation. You go to a black pool party, you're just going to see people putting their feet in the water. You're going to see some people in the shallow end. You're not going to see people just diving in off the diving board. You go to a white pool party, everybody is just diving in willy-nilly. It's like the majority of them can swim. It's actually a reason for that. Black people.
Are you gonna say racism?
No. Well, some people might call it as racist, but black people, our bones are more dense. Like you can look it up. Our bones are more dense, and for whatever reason, that means that we don't float as well. You know, we're
No,
Google
stop.
it.
You're killing me. You're
I,
killing me. No. God damn
Google
it.
it. Google it. It's a real
I have
thing.
never heard this.
All right. I'm about to Google it. About to make sure. I'm about to Google it in the most racist way ever. Why can't black people swim? That's what I'm about to just Google.
I've never heard such shenanigans in my life, bro. Wait a minute. Are we really literally big boned? Is what you're telling me?
I said dense. It's like a dense thing.
So they're not bigger, they're just denser. Oh my God. All right. So
That's okay.
our
Maybe
bones, black bones are heavier than white bones. Oh Lord! If it's true, it's true. But life is so funny. If black bones are heavier than white bones, what are we supposed to do with this knowledge? And this is all hilarious to me because I've been swimming since like a little kid. So like I'm just one of the rare ones, I suppose. Then. I have never heard of that.
No, I heard it from a credible source that I'm trying to find. We may have to move on. Okay, I'm just going. Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Let me try one more Google. Hold on, because that didn't help me out when I typed it in a racist way. So I'm going to type in "Are black people's bones?" Hold on. Bone more. Okay, let's see. Adjusted bone density at various skeletal sites was 4.5 to 16.1% higher for black than for white men, and was 1.2 to 7.3 higher for black than for white women. We concluded that racial differences in bone marrow density are not accounted for by clinical or biochemical variables measured in early adulthood. I barely know what that means, but they did confirm that our bones are more dense.
No, and I caught that. So I mean that's sufficient. I'm not arguing with the science at all. It's just a funny when you say so why black people can't swim because we'll drown.
Well, when I typed in why can't black people swim, okay, well hold on. I'm about to go back to that. I'm just the first thing that popped up. Well, no, not the first thing. The fourth thing that popped up is a actual YouTube video that I'm just going to read the caption. I'm not going to play the video, but I'm going to read the caption. It says, in the United States, 64% of black children can't swim. As a result, they are 3 times more likely to drown than white children their same age. But how does this happen? We take a look at the social history of the America's pools and how racial segregation shaped the current climate in the pools across the country. Okay, they went a different route, but the part that I was focused on in the that they are 3 times more likely to drown. So that was the part that I was pointing out there, and the density of the bones has something to do with that. The mere fact that it's harder for us to swim. Like if you're more likely to float on the water, it's easier to just naturally just swim, and black people are less likely to be able to just float on the water. It's the bone density has something to do with that. So yes, it is genetic why less black people can swim. There's some YouTube videos out there that's titled something like "Race and Sports and Race," stuff like that, where they say a lot of things that a lot of people are going to call racist, no doubt about it, but they do break down the genetic differences on average as to why certain races do better in certain sports. It's just, and a lot of it comes down to genetics. Some of it does come down to skill and practice, like how good you could shoot a jump shot or swing a golf club. Yeah, that's skill in practice. Like you have to work at that. But being genetically more on average able to make to change directions faster, or you can do things to work on quickness and agility, but a lot of it does come down to your genetics. For example, Venus and Serena Williams. you could. Okay, he took his daughters and busted his ass and busted their ass to make them become tennis superstars. But okay, what if he would have been a pudgy built, a sloppy built white dude with some fat ankles and would have and would have produced some pudgy, some even the term skinny fat. There's some people who skinny and they just still shaped like they fat kind of. If he would have produced some kids like that had some fat ankles and didn't have the agility, no matter how hard he worked with them, they could develop all the skill. They can get a perfect backhand. They could do all of that, but they just wouldn't have just the raw, just material and ability to get out there and just be better than everybody. You can't teach a LeBron James being 6'8" and being able to run like a horse and jump out the gym. But you could teach Larry Bird to compete with him if provided Larry Bird can shoot 10 times better than him. But far as just physical, it's a different thing. It comes down to genetics. And swimming, yeah, that's one area where white people on average has a genetic advantage, and people don't like to talk about that because it comes off as racist. You don't like to talk about you don't like to talk about how in football there are certain positions that white people do good, just as good as black football players. But when it comes to being the cornerback, not the quarterback, the cornerback, the wide receiver, the running back, those positions are dominated like 97% black. So there are racial differences when it comes to athleticism and physical abilities on average. It does not mean that, I think 2 white guys have won the dunk. No. Brent Berry. I think it was one other white guy that may have won the dunk contest. I think only one white guy has won the dunk contest. A lot of white guys have won the 3-point shooting contest. It's not a coincidence. All right. Throwing that out there.
Actually, where were we? Number 40. Have you been to jail even for a little while?
Yes.
That's a little personal. Yeah, I feel like that's a weird thing to just ask a person. Like, how does this come up in conversation?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. That's a fucked up thing to just randomly ask a black person just because on the strength and basis that he's black and you just want to know if he's been to jail. That's
just wanted to throw that one out there, just in case. Yeah. Have you ever been to jail? All right, yeah, that's a little much. All right, let's see.
The answer is yes, though. The answer is yes.
Right. I know. Listen, me too. What I'm saying, like, I don't know what gave you the inclination to bring that up right now.
How dare you ask? How dare you ask? But yeah.
Yeah, I know. It was one of those things.
It was something small. It wasn't a big deal. I got write-outs, just had to, pay a little bit of money, file the paperwork, and I got write-out. No big deal. I didn't really do nothing that bad, but yeah, I've been. But anyway.
All right, let's see. Number 41. What color is your blood?
That can't be a real question.
Yeah, not real people aren't like this. I mean, really? Okay, let's continue.
We can move on.
Number 42. How can I be racist? My blank is black. Like my friend, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, whatever. People do make that statement. I mean, I don't know. I do believe it's possible. I'm not going to say you can't be a racist. Just because you got your one special black friend doesn't mean you don't, harbor general feelings of superiority or dislike across the board or something.
There's plenty of black men who be talking that racist, the white man, white supremacy, blah, 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 yada, yada. They got a white girlfriend. So you
Whoa. Yeah, I've run into that head first, man. That is a bizarre thing too.
Yeah, so yeah, you can be racist and still have a white girlfriend or even a white friend, or a black. You can be racist and white and to have a black girlfriend and some black friends. I guess it can happen. It can happen.
Yeah, anything's possible. Number 43. Yo, my G, or yo, my nigga, or other attempts at ebonics. I think if you stop at my G, you're safe. I don't ever want to give anyone the blanket N-word pass like that. You're asking for trouble. Just because I don't hate you for it doesn't mean things won't go left.
Yeah. No, I'll never I'll never give that pass, even though it was a white guy I worked with. He told me that he has a bunch of black friends he used to hang out with all the time, and they let him say it. And he basically told the story how he used to say it all the time, and it was no big deal. But I still wasn't going to give him that pass because I don't know. I don't get triggered by the word like other people, but I don't know what if I gave him that pass, especially at the job. I don't know what the hell he gonna do with it. He may throw it out. What if he throw it out in a way around other white people who I never gave that pass to, and then it's like everybody just think it's open season now.
Now the fire's just rising and they're all yelling and nigga, they're just saying it all happily.
Yeah, so that's why I'm a proponent of never giving the pass. Just don't do it.
It's gonna. You don't know just how far it'll go. It's too unpredictable, I suppose. But yeah, no.
It was
dangerous
funny.
territory.
This when my son was younger, he had asked me. He said, "Is nuts a cuss word?" I said, "Nuts, like testicles, like nut." He said, "Yeah, is that a cuss word?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Okay." Every It's like he kept saying it, so it's like in his mind he can say it whenever he wanted now. So every joke, everything referred to somebody getting kicked in the nuts and nuts. He just kept. I was like, okay, dude, you can't say nuts. You said it's not because you can't say it. I'm tired of hearing you. I'm tired of hearing you making nut jokes. So cut it out. It's like just go. So that's my theory on why you can't give a pass on stuff because they give them an inch, they take a mile. Give them an inch, they take a mile.
Agreed. But, we're at 44. I'm sorry for my ancestors when you just wanted coffee.
I get it. Listen, no, I don't. Don't ever come to me talking about you sorry for your ancestors. I don't give a damn about that. I don't care that much about what your ancestors did, and it's weird and pandering when you come to me saying that. But see, here's the thing. That shouldn't be on the list for this reason. If they're saying all these other things are things you shouldn't say, which some of them you shouldn't say, but you're telling these people to walk on eggshells around you and be in a tiptoe stance about what they can and can't say. So if they say something to you that has a tone of apologetics, like they're sorry, they I don't want to offend you. I'm sorry about this. I'm sorry about that. It's like you can't include that into the list. You're basically saying be in tiptoe stance around me, be apologetic for everything. Don't say nothing out of line. Don't do this. Don't do that. So if they come forthcoming, I feel like when they say that, I think when they say that, that's them conceding to the terms and conditions that you laid out. So you can't get mad when they do it. That's basically saying you've got them G-checked into a corner to where they're just apologizing for shit they haven't done because you got a whole list of shit that they're not supposed to do. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and in New York City, you kind of experience that occasionally because you get like the hipster white folks and whatnot, and then just a bunch of liberals in general. And every now and then you have this moment where it's like, you're so fake. And that is just what it comes across as, like you're not being a real person, and you're reading. It's like you're engaging with me from some kind of script or something. It's just this bizarre false interaction, and I don't care for it all. It's like you're being racist by really trying hard to not be racist.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, I agree. I agree that they're doing that. That's definitely one angle on it as well. It was a white guy. I forgot what happened. Something happened. It was I was at work, and the white guy, he said, "Yeah, when I saw that, I was ashamed of being white." I'm like no, a random white person did some randomly stupid shit. You don't got to be ashamed of being white. But then again, I guess one other way to look at that is We be embarrassed when we see niggas on TV doing stupid shit. But it's like he's only saying that in the context that he's talking to black people about it.
But see now, but this is the bizarre thing, and this is what makes it like. And now I'm gonna get triggered. I'm gonna trigger the hell out of everybody. Just hate me. Just preemptively hate me for this.
Okay.
If black people had conquered white people and enslaved them for 400 years, you really think black people would be feeling bad about that shit? You really think you would let the white man make you feel bad about the time where you really secretly conquered, not secretly, you openly ran the world, and then you just decided to not dominate everybody as harsh as you used to? You really think you're gonna let the white man make you feel bad about that? And so, like, when I come across these self-hating white people, it's like, bro, you are fucking pathetic. Like, you don't listen, I'm not gonna apologize for taking the L in slavery, and you don't have to apologize for having the L. I mean, for having the W. How about that? Like, it's such a weird thing. I just do not get it. But that's that whole like leftist self-hating white people thing. I can't relate, bro. I can't relate. For all the stuff that black people have gone through, all the quote victimhood that we supposedly actually have suffered. Let me not even take away from it. For all the horrible things we have actually suffered, we are never expected to feel bad for it. But generally speaking, you don't feel bad for winning. You feel bad for losing. So it's like we're not allowed to feel bad for stuff you're supposed to feel bad for, but they're supposed to feel bad for actually conquering and winning. Make it make sense. Come on. If that was us, we still celebrate the Moors. That one time, the one time where we conquered the white man, just hi-ya, got up in Europe, just ran through. We taught them how to bathe. Like, we still say this shit. Come on.
No, you so right to the point to where when Tariq Nasheed, who made the Hidden Colors documentary, when he raised that $1 million, shout out to him for galvanizing black people to put $1 million on something. They put $1 million or however much money on him building the Hidden Colors Museum. If you go look at the commercial right now for it, where he was basically talking about the things that's going to be in the museum and everything, this little press docket that he put out there, it was real nice and everything. No hate there, no hate there. But one thing that he said, he mentioned that. He mentioned how the Moors that they conquered, I forgot what did they conquer, some part of Europe or something, I don't know. But he mentioned what they conquered, and he said it like you said. He said it in triumph. Like it's so much triumph around it that he wants to put it in the Black Museum. Like, we need to put it in our museum that we conquered these motherfuckers. Like that's what he's doing. That's essentially what he's doing. And he's like,
that sounds like, come on. We can't wait. We just can't wait for our day.
But flip that around. Conquering is the worst thing ever. How dare they do it? But the one time we got it, yeah, stick it to you, motherfucker. So yeah, I agree 100%. Like that's something that black people wouldn't exactly be as apologetic for. I've said it once, I said it again, especially with a lot of the people who wear the pro-black title and all of that. Let them be empowered. They would treat white people probably worse than what they say white people treat black people. That's my supposition on that one. That's my supposition on that one. But shout out to Sir Tyson in the building. He said, salute hood conservative. Happy Saturday to the chat. Where you at, BR? I am at my woman's house. I'm doing a road game. I used to do this all the time. I used to do all this, well, at least probably like every other Saturday. It's not like it's a court order visitation every other weekend. With my girl. I'm at my girl house. She normally come to my spot. She normally come to my spot and then stay with me on the weekends, but I'm staying at her spot this weekend. So that's just that. So yeah, I'm doing it here with a little webcam and then struggle streaming with the Yeti mic, So yeah, but that's where I'm at. And he says, pardon my ebonics, keeping with the theme. Where are you, Bernie? See, and my ebonics speaking ass didn't even where you at? Hey, that sound normal to me.
Right.
I didn't even notice the ebonics, but shout out to Sir Tights. Appreciate the super chat. Appreciate you supporting the stream. Appreciate everybody supporting the stream. I think y'all been dropping a Hood Conservatives link in the chat room. Appreciate everybody who's been doing that and everything. I don't know. I didn't even check no I didn't even check no cash apps. One thing that I never even thought to do. I know you got a cash app of some sort. You could type that in the chat, and then hey, I see RM there. You were absent yesterday, young lady. We notice when you're not here. We notice when you're not here. But after you you could I'm called you by your real name, but well, I think most people know it. But anyway, Hoodservative, drop your cash app in the chat room, and then RM can copy and paste it. For those who want to cash app the Hoodservative, you could definitely feel free to do that. Put something on his books. Put something on his books. But anyway. All right, going forward here. What's one? Okay, do you? Holy shit! Do you have cars where you're from? That's really the next one. Number 45. Do you have cars where you're from? Again, that could be the UK thing. That could be the UK thing. There's some people who think, they got those African immigrants coming in, going to the UK. And they don't have they assume there's not cars in Africa. One thing I never thought of, the cars in Africa are European. Africans aren't making their own cars apparently, so they do have a lot of what we call foreigns. That's what they driving around in Africa. So yes, they do have cars, but that's a weird question that maybe they asked that question in Europe or in the UK or whatever. I don't know if you got anything on that one, but that made the list. That wouldn't make the list. Well, you know what? That wouldn't make the list here because, white people here typically know where black people from. But if they talk to somebody who's from, they talk to a foreigner, somebody from, Kenya, Nigeria, Uganda or something, somebody I can see a white person asking that question. Do you have cars in Uganda? I can see that.
I actually, no. I would think that question would apply to non-black people. Like there are probably parts of Asia. And by Asia, like, the hills of, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and, there are probably certain little pockets of the world where it's just undeveloped and very difficult to get a 4x4 down into the jungle. But I don't know if Africa is really like that anymore. I don't know if you'd expect that from Africans per se.
Yeah. Moving on. What's happening in Africa? Like, yeah.
You just randomly ask black people what's happening in Africa. I would love to meet that white guy. just randomly. So, what's going on in Uganda?
But if you look at this from the context of the UK, if you look at it from that context, then they probably are in a place where they look at every black person they see as a black person who just came over there and is still connected to Africa. So they're going to ask that person, hey, what's going on in Africa? And by Africa, they could very well mean, be referring to something going on in South Africa. Never mind the fact that this person you're talking to is from Nigeria and don't know, don't care, don't give two shits. So that's where that's wrong. That's where there's I don't want to necessarily call it racist, but definitely a splash of ignorance in asking that question to a random black person that you see walking around in the UK. This for those that don't know, these questions were generated from somewhere in the UK. So anyway,
number 47 is interesting. This is like a thought experiment almost. I've always wondered what it would be like in black skin. And by thought experiment, like obviously a white person would have to ask that question, but now as the black man, what would it be like if you were born as a random white guy? Like that is an interesting thought experiment, just on the face of it. I think I got to give that a pass.
I've always wondered what it would. Okay, when they say I've always wondered what it would be like to have, I'm just kind of small, what it would be like in black skin. Okay, if they're just talking about just what would it feel like for your skin to be black, it's like, somewhere in their mind, somewhere in the mind of some white people, they probably think it feels different, like physically feels different, like you can Like they want to, like, if you could rub it off, like, it's somewhere in their mind they're probably thinking like that. Now, if they're talking about it from that perspective, okay, they do sound ignorant. But are they talking about it just from a cultural perspective? Like, if I could be, black and then just walk around, let's just say, just go for a stereotype, just walk around in some baggy jeans, a hoodie, and some Timberlands and a hat cocked to the side, and then just walk through the world for a day and see what that, feels like. See if I, notice people, parting like the Red Sea when I'm walking down the sidewalk. See if I notice people, walking to the other side of the street. If I notice myself being watched at a store a little more. If I notice this, if I notice that. From a cultural standpoint, I get it. But I think they were just going more from the perspective, I just wonder how the black skin even feels on you. I think they were going that way with it. So that's why I would say that is some ignorant shit. But if they're talking cultural, social,
like,
cool.
Does the melanin literally make you feel different? Like, does it tingle? Is what you're saying? Like,
yeah, that's probably what they're asking. Like, how does that black skin feel? How does it feel on you? I think that's what they're asking. I think they're asking it from that perspective, because they didn't sound like they were talking about, like, I remember it was an old video of a supermodel. She put on like a fat suit for a day and just walked around fat. They do in Hollywood, they do the makeup and all the stuff, and she got to see what it feels like to walk around as a essentially visually a 400-pound woman. She got to see how that feels, and yeah. So from that perspective, I understand it, but I don't know if that's exactly what they're where they're going with that. But
maybe. Number 48.
Almost done. Almost at the bottom of this thing.
Okay. I think black people are really cool. All black people everywhere. As a person says that, like, are you gonna be upset? Like, whatever.
I remember when the Super Bowl happened, when Beyonce and Bruno Mars, who passes as black, even though I heard a compelling argument that he wasn't even damn near black, but he passes. But when Bruno Mars and Beyonce was performing at the Super Bowl, and there was some white dude who's a big deal, but I can't remember his name, was also performing too. And his part of the performance was like, normal. But Beyonce came out there with the Black Panther girl squad, and Bruno Mars was up there killing it. And him and Beyonce just stole the show when it was basically white America was on Twitter acknowledging, like, damn, like, it was like, black people are just really fucking cool. And that was what they was on Twitter saying. And again, it was some visual truth to that, because you could just see just the difference in the performance and how Bruno Mars and Beyonce just killed it. And the white guy just was just looking like just a dude in a t-shirt, just ad-libbing to what Beyonce and Bruno Mars was really out there just doing. So we can't deny the simple fact that, yes, black people are cool. We set a lot of trends. We know we do that, and we celebrate it, and we talk shit about it, how we the coolest. We, make the best music, got the best, got the best entertainers and style, and God damn it, we created rock and roll, motherfucker. Like we created the blues, the rock and roll, the R&B, jazz. We the shit, So yeah, we brag on being cool all the time. So if a white person is looking at black people saying, "Hey, yeah, I got cool down pat," like we had one black president who was the coolest president ever, the black one. he the one that looked the best in his suit, had the coolest walk, the coolest swag. We talked about that earlier. Like,
right. It's the thing. It's a thing we took pride in for a long time, and I don't think we'll ever stop taking pride in that, and we shouldn't. But it's just one of the things we get to have, I suppose.
Yeah, but then we call them racist when they acknowledge it. Like, I don't know if that ain't right. They're not wrong for acknowledging the thing that we brag about. So. Yeah.
Let's see. Number 49. I don't see color. Again, people are getting really sensitive about things lately. I don't really take the issue, and I've heard the argument people are making, and it's really like doubling down on the race arguments, basically. But I don't really care to pick at that whole "I don't see color" thing.
What do you do at stoplights?
That's not what people mean, and that's why I hate the, like. Come on, really? Is this what you want to do?
Oh shit.
Because it's like it becomes petty like that. Like, oh, right, really? That's how people are gonna go. But I don't know. Let's go to the last one because the last one,
Hold on,
number
real quick,
50.
real quick. Hold on, real quick. That was Coldplay that was up there with Beyonce and Bruno Mars. I don't think so. I like Coldplay. That Viva La Vida song is the shit. But anyway, I didn't know that was Coldplay. I don't know what they look like. I just know their music. I just know some of their music when they hear it.
I don't even remember.
But anyway. But yeah, he was black
number
as hell.
50.
Anyway, go ahead.
Sorry, yeah, number 50. Why do Black Lives Matter? Don't all lives matter? Yeah, I cringed when I first read it. And then in the caption, all lives undervalued? So the assumption from Black people, do Black people genuinely believe our lives are undervalued? Because that's really baked into the premise back there. At the very end, if you put that in the quotations, are all lives undervalued? It's assuming Black lives are undervalued. Do we really believe that?
Do we really believe that Black lives are undervalued? Yeah, most Black people, I would say, do believe that Black lives are undervalued for a number of reasons. I mean, we know the murder rate in the Black community, but that's Black people on Black. But let's move on past that. The perception is that police officers are just killing Black people at an exorbitant rate. They're killing them higher than our percentage rate, our population percentage rate. 13% of the population is Black. 25% of police shootings are of Black people. So, that's the data on it. But the perception is that the police just open season, wild, wild west, just gunning people down, willy nilly, 10 times worse than what it is. Like, I think it was a study where you asked people what percentage of police shootings are of Black people. And I think the numbers, it was up everybody had it. Most of the people they asked had it over 70%, like 70, 80, 90, so that's how people view it. So based off people's perception that, yeah, they, that Black lives are undervalued. So yeah, that's definitely the perception of it.
Yeah, I don't know if I would disagree with that. And you perhaps you are right. It's just something that's been like not even beat into, just sort of soaked into people's minds over time. Perhaps it's unfortunate.
I think Black Lives Matter would have did themselves a favor, and sometimes I do this when I make an argument. I anticipate the straw man argument that's coming next, and so what I would end up doing, like, okay, what Black Lives Matter should have did to anticipate the straw man argument that was coming next, they should have called it Black Lives Matter 2, like Black Lives Matter also.
Right.
So had they done that, they would have defeated all lives matter. They would have defeated that straw man argument, because I do think that is a straw man argument. Because what Black Lives Matter is trying to say, that they're starting with the supposition that Black lives matter less, or Black lives are undervalued, as it said. So they're saying to a country that thinks that Black lives matter less, they're saying, no, Black lives matter. Or a country that says Black lives don't matter, they're saying Black lives do matter. But everybody want to straw man it. The All Lives Matter movement was a straw man. I don't care what nobody said about that. It was a straw man in my eyes, because it tried to depict, actually Tommy Lauren actually said this. She called it the Black Lives Matter More movement. And I understand where she was going with that, because if you look at a lot of the things that a lot of people say, that the people that, you can read their tenets, you could come to that conclusion that they really think Black Lives Matter more. But they should have called it Black Lives Matter 2. Then they would just eliminate that part of the conversation, and then you can have a real conversation about the facts of everything. But anyway, we made it to the end of the list. And something that I didn't think we was going to get to. If we'd have spent the whole 3 hours on this, I would have just canceled this last portion of it. Now, this portion of what we are about to do is, there's something going on online, and I'll let Hood Conservative set it up. He'll set it up better than me. But there's an actual white privilege test that was created to see how much white privilege that you had. And when they made that test, I'm pretty sure they did not assume that black people would take the test. So I'm live on the air. I don't know what questions are going to be asked. I'm about to take a white privilege test, and we're going to see how I score on the white privilege test to see exactly how much white privilege do I actually have. So I'm about to take the white privilege test live on the air. Let's go. I can't see the questions at all, and that's good. I'd rather just hear them from you, and then you check my box. Okay, so go.
All right, cool. Now I got this, and like I said earlier, this is something from let me actually pull this back just to double check. Yeah, a Wisconsin school district. So this was given by the superintendent from the 8th largest Wisconsin school district as a part of their teacher training. So the white privilege test, it consists of 26 questions, and they're just simple yes or no questions, I believe, and we'll go from there. And actually, before I do that, just for you guys in the chat, I'm going to drop the link to this white privilege test down here in the chat so you can play along later on if you like and see how much privilege you have too, just for fun. Now, let me take a look at the questions here. Number 1, if I wish to, I can arrange to be in the company of people of my race most of the time. Yes or no?
Yes.
All right. So you gotta keep tally here. So it's 26. So we just got to keep a tally of what's yes and no. We'll score it up later. Number 2, I can be sure that no matter where I move to, my neighbors in that location will be pleasant or neutral to me. Think about it. I'm going to read it again. I can be sure that no matter where I move to, my neighbors in that location will be pleasant or neutral to me. Yes or no?
That's almost not a yes or no. I'm going to answer it with a yes or no, but just let me elaborate.
Sure.
It depends on where I move to. Like, I mean, okay, if I move to the hood, if I move to the ghetto part of the ghetto, it might be some rude people. If I move to more on the middle class side of a black neighborhood, I don't think it would be as many rude people. So I think it's a stupid question because, okay, a white person, I can ensure that where I move to, that people will be what? Say it again.
Pleasant or neutral to me.
See, I think they're talking about where you have the ability to move to. It's a stupid question. I'm going to answer it. I'm going to answer it with yes because I can determine where I live, but you can never determine whether or not you still might have a neighbor that's a jackass. But I can move to a pleasant environment. Put it like this: I have the ability to move to an environment that I deem to be a pleasant environment. So for that one, I will say yes.
All right. Moving on. Number 3, I can go shopping alone and be sure that I won't be followed or harassed.
I don't get followed or harassed when I go shopping, so I'm going to say yes.
All right, so yes. Number 4, I can turn on the television, open a newspaper, and see people of my race widely represented.
The answer to the answer to that one is kind of yes, but okay. The reason I'm going to say no for that, I'm going to play ball. I'm going to say no for that one, even though I think it's yes. I think it's yes because I control what I watch, and it's 1 billion channels. So when I go on Netflix, if I want to watch black movies, I can find black movies. I could find whatever I like. Damn, it's like these questions are stupid. But overall percentage wise, the number I'm gonna say no because the majority of channels there are not black people on it. There's black people on every channel, but I honestly I think black people are sprinkled in on TV at roughly our percentage at our population percentage rate. So you shouldn't expect that see like how weird would that be if on every channel it was, let's say, 70% black people on. Like, so that's why I think it's a stupid question, but I will say no, because that's white people can just turn on any channel and see, white people represented at least. So I will say no. Okay, go.
Okay. Number 5. I can go to a museum or art gallery and will see people of my race widely represented in the objects and artworks.
These questions are stupid.
It's a white privilege test, bro. Come on.
It's almost like they're saying that you have to go randomly to a museum. But if you choose
No.
Okay, go.
No. Take the question as given. All right. Can you go to a museum or art gallery and see people of your race widely represented in the objects and artworks? Even in whatever, I don't know where you are, but whatever region you're from, just even limit it to your own personal region.
Then the answer is yes. Yes, we do have we have museums that are black. We have an African something, I forgot what it's called. But yes, we have museums where, that's with black art and stuff in it. So yes.
Fine. Number 6. I can be sure that when told about our national heritage or about, quote, civilization, I am shown that people of my color made it what it is. Yeah, that's a little bit more interesting.
Run that one by me again. Say that again.
I can be sure that when told about our national heritage or about civilization, I am shown that people of my color made it what it is.
For that, when I'm told about my, say it one more time.
I can be sure that when told about our national heritage or about civilization, I am shown that people of my color made it what it is.
The wording, I hate that I'm a stickler for the wording, is that when told about it.
Right.
Told by who? Told about what? But typically there's a lot of stuff in history where they okay, I'm just gonna say no for that one. I'm gonna say no. I'm just gonna say
okay,
no.
So let me see. That's a number 6 is no. Okay. I'm keeping track, by the way. All right, number 6 is no. Number 7. I can be sure that my children will be taught a curriculum which testifies to the existence of their race. Wow. Let me repeat that. I can be sure that my children will be taught a curriculum which testifies to the existence of their race. Wow.
Nobody is teaching something. Okay, the answer is yes, because nowhere is anything being taught that says that black people don't exist. So that's an obvious yes.
I'm trying to withhold comment because I want you to just answer as pure as you can.
Yeah. My okay, yeah.
But wow.
This is just a stupid question.
Okay, number 8. I can go into a shop and easily find the food, music, or clothes which represent my race or fit with my cultural traditions. Woo. This is white privilege, huh? I can go into a shop and easily find the food, music, or clothes which represent my race or fit with my cultural traditions.
Yes.
Okay, number 8, yes. Number 9, I can go to a hairdresser and be sure they can cut my hair.
Holy shit. They are making it seem like non-white people don't have the option to go to a black barbershop. Like,
God,
you don't
this is
have to
actually
be able
funny.
to pick one at random. It's like you almost there. It's like they're almost saying if you put on a blindfold and bumped into a barbershop or hair salon, are you confident that that will be the right one for you? That one will be able to accommodate your hair? The answer to that question is no. But it's not hard to find a black barbershop or hair salon. So my answer is yes. I can go to one.
All right. I just want to say real quick, this literally happened to me a long time ago when I was a little kid. But like I was an army brat. So like my mom, we were living upstate New York. I think it was Fort Drum, it's called. So anyway, we were like new on base. And my stepdad, I don't know where the hell he was at the time, but my mom was trying to get me a haircut. And we go on base. It's called the PX. It's like the little army base mall. And there's a barbershop in there, and she just walks in the first barbershop. It's the only barbershop she could find up there. So she walks in there, and a bunch of old white guys, like literally a bunch of old white guys cutting hair. And she asked the guy cutting my hair, and he's like, "Ma'am, I'm so sorry, but I do not know how to cut that boy's hair." Yeah, bro. But like, I mean,
Wait, hold on.
I totally.
There's some confusion. This isn't from the UK. This one.
No, this is me, bro. This is me. I'm telling you, this has happened to me literally.
No. I'm talking about the audience. I heard a few people saying, "Well, in the UK, maybe because the last thing that we did about the 50 things never say to black people that came from the UK. This is something different right here. So this is from the States. Am I right?
Yeah, this is from Wisconsin, I believe, the state of Wisconsin.
All right. So this is American made. This is made in the USA. Yeah. So we got to answer every question in that context.
But yeah, long story short, I couldn't get my hair cut for a little while I was upstate New York, and I got, my mom gave me the horrible bowl cut. It was terrible.
Why couldn't y'all just hold on? Wait, why couldn't y'all find a black barbershop?
She couldn't find one for a little while. Like that was like the first like couple of weeks we were up there.
Oh, okay. I just remember you were a kid and you were born in, I think, what did you say, 81, 83?
Right. I was born in 81. And this is upstate New York, like upstate, there's not a lot of black people around, period.
Yeah, well, no, what I'm getting at is that we didn't have the magical power of Google at the time. So like right now, she could Google some barbershops and find one right now. Like I can
now, yeah.
Yeah, but so I'm thinking like, let's just put you back in 1988 in a city that you don't know of. Yeah, you would actually have to drive to a black neighborhood and ask people, "Hey, where are the barbershops around here?" And hopefully they'll be able to direct you to it. But if you were, upstate New York, I don't know how far away a black area is. So she probably would have to get in her car and drive pretty far to find a black barbershop because it don't make no sense for a black barbershop to open up somewhere where it's not a lot of black people. So yeah, you do got to go to the black neighborhood to get a haircut from black people. So that is an actual thing. That is an actual thing that I could see as an issue in 1989. But right now, no. Like the place, like I cut my own hair, but when I do want to get a haircut, I got an app on my phone where I could push a button and set an appointment and pay for the appointment with my debit card, and then just pull up at Wednesday at 5:30 p.m., sit down in the chair, get my haircut, and be out of there by a black person. Like that. That's how convenient everything is nowadays. Like you could tailor your life to where you don't have to deal with, see, talk to, or barely interact with white people, other than a few. There's some situations where you have to. I mean, okay, if you go to the hospital, that's different. That's different.
If you're about to die, you gotta see the white man.
Yeah. He got the white man checks you in and checks you out when you're born.
It really is though. Like, wow, I just thought of that, but it's so like that, bro. Yeah, when you're born and when you die, you gotta holler at the white man.
Yeah. He check you in, check you out. All right, cool. But
between those 2 points, you can pretty much live a majority black life.
Yeah, you can. But
number 10.
Number
10, I can count on my skin color not to work against the appearance of my financial reliability. I'll read it again. I can count on my skin color not to work against the appearance of my financial reliability.
I can count on my skin color to not work against the
appearance,
reliance.
the appearance of my financial reliability.
For that one, I'm going to say, okay, damn, I'm tripping. I can work on it to not count against. I think it will. I think no. Okay, there are areas.
I'm gonna read it again. I'm gonna read it one more time. I can count on my skin color not to work against the appearance of my financial reliability.
For that, I'm going to say no. And the only reason I'm going to say no to that, there's a lot of times where I have rented out space. You know, like right now when I do my show, when I'm at home doing my show, I'm in a separate studio. And I had to rent out some space from somewhere that I pay monthly for. You know, not that much, because I'm fortunately in a small town where you don't got to pay that much. However, the guy who owns it, when he was asking me what do I do, now when he was describing what it is, there's been multiple times where I don't know for sure, but it seems as if more questions was asked by the person who owns the building than what he probably would have asked if I wasn't black. It did seem like he was, but then again, I can't really say that because the last tenant he had, who I think was white, I paid like the security deposit. He paid the security deposit and then just never showed up or never paid any. So I mean, he had some bad experiences. He had some bad experiences, but it's very possible. Very possible. I don't know for sure because he seemed like a great guy. But I've experienced this not just right there, but I've experienced it in other situations where doing business, there's been times when I had to go all the way back to, when I was married, we had a clothing store. We had a lot of other things. There was other times when there's other businesses I've had where I've, had to had to rent out space. That's the best way to do it. Don't just pay $200,000 for a location. You don't know if the business is going to work. Just, rent out a space, establish the business. And then once you establish it, you can look into, owning something. So, okay. I'm saying all this to say that, yes, there are situations and instances where especially depending on what you do, coupled with your race, where the person may be wondering, is this legit? Is it not legit? So I came forthcoming with the, okay, this is how much money I got. I can show you how much money I made. I can show you this. I can show you that. I can show you what I got in the bank. This is where I'm at. I'm legit. That's like I did feel that word feel. I did feel like I had to prove my legitness. Where I think if somebody else just showed up saying, "Oh yeah, I sell insurance, and yeah, I'm just looking for a location to do it. I sell insurance. I sell Allstate insurance. I've been doing it for 2 years. Okay, great. Give first month rent, security deposit, and then yeah." Oh, so I haven't answered the question yet. I said for that one, I did answer it. I said I'm going to say no.
You already said no. I got the mark down.
I said no. I was just explaining why. The answer is no. The answer is no. That goes to a lot of black folks don't own enough shit to where they're it was a time when I was about to rent out some space from a black person, and I ended up not doing it because they was charging too damn much. But I'm trying to remember. I'm sorry, I'm rambling because I'm really trying to remember the line of questions that they asked. Like it was more like they were just cool, chill, just talking to me. Maybe they should have been asking more questions. But anyway, I'm gonna say no to that one. I'm gonna say no. They're sometimes doing business with white people where they probably got a certain level of skepticism. But then sometimes they cool as hell. But it varies. But I'm gonna say no. Play ball. I'm gonna say no.
All right, cool. We're going to move to number 11. I can swear, dress scruffily, or not answer letters without having people attribute these choices to the bad morals, poverty, or illiteracy of my race. Ooh, this is weird. All right, I'm going to read it again. I can swear, dress scuffily, or not answer letters without having people attribute these choices to the bad morals, poverty, or illiteracy of my race?
I'll say no for that one.
Okay.
I'll say no. Just my quick reason not to ramble again. I think it is true that white people get more of a pass when they act like that than black people. Or when they see when a white person is seen acting like that, they just say that person is an idiot. But when a black person does that, more times than not, the perception is, oh, of course, he's black. Look at him. So, but that's
people.
But that's in the realm of I don't care, because we're talking about how people view me. It's like if this is about privilege or not privilege, and we're having too long of a conversation about how people view me and feel about me. Like, so so it's hard to really say, is it privilege or not privilege? But anyway, that goes back to the question being kind of stupid. But all right, go ahead.
Number 12, I can speak in public to a powerful male group without putting my race on trial. I'll repeat again. I can speak in public to a powerful male group without putting my race on trial.
Yes.
Okay. Number 13, I can do well professionally without being called a credit to my race. I can do well professionally without being called a credit to my race.
Yes.
All right. That was 13. Number 14. I am never asked to speak for my entire racial group. It's saying I am never asked? Yeah, you're never asked. Yeah. So, okay.
I've been indirectly asked to speak for black people in a situation. Yeah.
I guess so. The answer is no.
The wording of the question has me confused about whether or not it's yes or no.
Okay, I'm going to restate it again, and I want you to sort it out without me coaching you. Okay. I am never asked to speak for my entire racial group. Yes or no?
I am never asked to speak for my entire racial group. This is a weird question because I don't know if to answer it with a yes or a no. I mean, there's times when I've had to ask for, I've had to been in a conversation where the other person's perception of the conversation was that I was speaking for my entire race or group. That has happened. I think that's happened to everybody to some degree. But so in that sense, the answer is yes, I have been asked to do that. But I'm confused about
that means that no. So okay, I think I would have to help. The answer to the question would be no, the way it's presented, because you're responding in negative to the premise that they laid out for you. So you
all right, cool. All right, that's what I thought, but I was confused about that. But all right, go ahead.
So all right, that's number 14. Let's go on to the next page. Number 15. I can remain oblivious of the language and customs of persons of color without feeling in my own culture any penalty for such oblivion. I'll repeat again. I can remain oblivious of the language and customs of persons of color without feeling in my own culture any penalty for such oblivion.
Yes, because I don't know or give a damn about other people's culture and customs. I still can't even explain the difference between a Hispanic or a Latino. I don't like.
What is the difference, actually? But that's a whole other conversation.
Who knows? So yes, I can remain oblivious without feeling any penalty.
Okay, copy. Got you. No,
Yeah, I just explained. I didn't know who the hell. I mean, even though I do like one of their songs, but the guy that was performing with Beyonce and Bruno Mars at the Super Bowl, that was dude from Coldplay. I don't know who. That's one of the biggest groups on earth. I don't keep up with their stuff, even though I do like one of their songs. But yeah. But anyway.
Number 16, I can criticize our government and talk about how much I fear its policies and behavior without being seen as a cultural outsider.
Yes.
16, yes. Number 17, if a police officer stops me, I can be sure I haven't been singled out because of my race.
That's a tough one because, well, if a police officer stopped me, I can be sure I haven't been singled out because of my race. No, I can't be sure of that.
Number 17 is no. Number 18, I can be pretty sure that if I ask to talk to the person in charge, I will be facing a person of my race. Let me read that again.
Nah, you don't even got to read that one in. That's a no. That's a no. That's a no. That's a no.
Number 19. I can easily buy books, children's toys, posters, greeting cards, or magazines featuring people of my race.
At this point in the game, that is definitely a yes. You know, Target has a little thing that they're doing where they're tagging certain things, or they got like little segments where all the products over here are black owned in this area. Like,
they're segregating the products. I know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we're making segregation profitable again.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Number 20. As a child, I had access to books where the heroes and protagonists were the same race or color as me.
See, that's a tricky one because that depends on how old you are.
Well, we're only talking about your white privilege, so it only depends on how old you are.
That's true. I'm answering it for everything else. So, ask it one more time. I want to see if there's a loophole. Ask it one more time.
Number 20. As a child, I had access to books where the heroes and protagonists were the same race or color as me.
They existed, but they weren't the majority. And that's the loophole I was looking for. I can say yes if I just go with they exist, but they weren't the majority and they weren't as easy to find as they are today. So as a child, yeah, I do got to go with no on that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't even notice those kinds of books till I got old enough to like look for myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think you're necessarily presented those kinds of things all the time. Like Donald Goines books, and those aren't children's books, but like there was like black literature going on. It's just that you don't necessarily know about it.
Right.
But let me see. Number 21. I can go home from most meetings of organizations I belong to feeling somewhat tied in, rather than isolated, out of place, outnumbered, unheard, held at a distance, or feared.
What? One more time.
All right. Yes. I can go home from most meetings of organizations I belong to feeling somewhat tied in, rather than isolated, out of place, outnumbered, unheard, held at a distance, or feared.
Yes, I can do that.
Copy. Number 21 is a yes. 22. We're almost done here. 26 questions. 22. I can take a job with an affirmative action employer without having coworkers suspect that I got it because of race. Let me restate the question. Wow, we talked about this earlier. It's funny. I can take a job with an affirmative action employer without having coworkers suspect that I got it because of race.
To stay consistent with what I said earlier, I said as long as there's an affirmative action program that exists at a place and you get hired at that place, some people are going to assume that you got in due to affirmative action. Now, me personally, wait a minute, I forgot. This is about me.
Yeah.
So I can say no to that because I'm self-employed. So that doesn't exist in my world. So I can't answer it for all Black people. So I guess that would be my privilege in being self-employed and working for myself, to where, yeah, I don't have those problems. So I can say no.
You can say wait.
No. I can say I can take a job. Okay, ask the question again. My fault.
Oh yeah, wait, because I don't know if it matters that you're self-employed at all. It's about what you could get if you were at this other job. Like, let me read it again. I can take a job with an affirmative action employer, right? So I can take a job with an affirmative action employer without having coworkers suspect that I got it because of race. See, I think your self-employment is out of the question here.
Yeah, so I do got to say no to that one. I do got to say no. I can't. If I take a job and affirmative action is a part of the job.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'm cornered on that one. That one I'm cornered on. Yeah, I gotta. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Number 23. I can be sure that the gatekeepers in my life, such as my boss, my local MP, or my landlord, are the same color or race as me.
No to that.
Okay, number 23 is no. 24.
But hold on, this is a problem with it, because then there is a freedom of association. Like I'm talking about our renting out a space for my studio, and I could have chose to rent it out from a Black person. It would have just took longer. One place I was about to go that was a Black person, the rent was too damn high. Shout out to that guy that was running for I think mayor of New York or some shit. I don't know. But that one I can choose. It's a freedom of association aspect of this that they're not accounting for. But in general, the answer is no, especially if they say a job. If I had to go back out into the workforce, no, I cannot be sure that that's going to be the case. So the answer is no on that one.
So that was 23 is no. Okay. Mm-hmm. 24. I can be sure that if I need legal or medical help, the color of my skin will not work against me.
Legal or medical help. They shouldn't have put those together.
Well, they did.
Medical help. Like if I got a sprained ankle, the color of my skin not going to work against me. If
you call the police.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm just going to ask, if you call the police, like that's, if I need legal help, that's calling the police, or if you need a lawyer.
Yeah, I can't be sure, because if you need a lawyer, that's because you got a situation going on in the courtroom, and if the color of your skin might work against you. So the answer to that one is no, I can't be sure. It's a question. I can be sure that it won't work against me.
Right. So you're saying no, you cannot be sure.
No, I can't be sure, but it's. I damn near can say, I see what Jackie Jack is saying. Yes, if I'm paying him. If I'm paying a lawyer, that lawyer is going to go and work and fight hard for me. But it depends on what I'm on. Like if I'm on trial for doing a breaking and entry, climbing through somebody's window. If I'm on trial for that, my skin, I can't say that my skin color isn't going to work against me, but I'm not going to be climbing through somebody's window. So the things that I would need legal help for, I'm pretty confident that it's all going to be A-okay. So for that reason, I want to say yes. But again, I keep putting myself in the shoes of somebody who don't live the life that I live. And if this is about me, I think I could say yes. I'm sure that it's not going to work against me.
So all right, wait. Number 24 is a no. I'm confused as to what I had to write down.
Okay,
And
ask the question again.
I can be sure that if I need legal or medical help, the color of my skin will not work against me.
Oh, no, it won't. No, it won't. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
All right.
I
Well, cool.
keep
All right.
missing the wording of the question. I'm sorry.
All right. No, I
Probably because
just
I'm
want to
not
double.
reading it. Yeah, probably I need to be reading it. This is weird.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it's a little difficult when you're not looking at yourself. All right. I can choose. This is number 25. I'm sorry. Number 25. I can choose makeup or bandages and flesh color and have them more or less match my skin.
The answer, I'm going to say yes. The makeup that I choose can match my skin. They do sell bandages that look like black people's skin. So yes.
And the last question, number 26.
That was a joke. That was a joke when I said the makeup that I use. I rolled right by that, and then I just wanted.
I wasn't even gonna, bro.
It was a joke.
All right. At school and university, I could be sure that most of my teachers were the same color or race as me.
No, I can't be sure of that.
Number 26 is a no.
And okay, go ahead.
I was just going to read the final instructions here. It says, if you answered more than 13 out of 26, have you considered that white privilege may play a role in your life? So now we got to do a tally. Now we got to do a tally of all the yeses you got. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 5, number 7, number 8, number 9, number 12, number 13, number 15, number 16, number 19, number 21, and number 25. Ooh, you're at 14, bro.
I got white privilege.
Yeah, just a tad. Oh, yes, we have finally uncovered it. Yes, we learned today Bernard Riley has just a little tiny bit of white privilege. I got to take this test myself to figure out where I stand. I'm pretty sure I got some white privilege. I would celebrate too. Shit, I don't win that many things in life.
I got a D- on a white privilege test.
Facts. You just slid in there, bro.
Shout out to the Bart Simpson in that episode, my favorite episode of The Simpsons, when Bart's he passed a third grade. The final test he had to take, he passed because he got a D-, and he was like, "Yes, I got a D-. I passed." And then we went to school the next day like, "Hey, did you know a D- was passing?" But we were so excited. Every D we got going for, we was high-fiving it. At least we passed. We didn't fail. So I messed around and got a D- on a white privilege test. That is too damn funny. Some of it, I mean, honestly, my score technically could have been higher. Like, for example, the one about the TV. Like, can I turn on the TV and see, like, I can turn on the TV and see what I want to see because there's so many channels. I don't have a problem finding, shows where there's black people on it. So I could have watched that one, yes. I mean, I could have answered that one, yes. I easily could have. But I was, trying to play ball and say, no, the majority is this. So I can't just randomly flick through. So depending on how you take some of the questions.
Right. Some of the questions were just odd on the face of it. Like, that's why I wanted to just like come back at it later. Cause like I can go to a hairdresser. That was just a little odd. Like, of course, for the most part, black people don't have the hair problem. I can be sure my children will be taught a curriculum which testifies to the existence of their race. Like, that was a deep loaded question right there. What white curriculum does that? Like, I remember, like, I went to school around a bunch of white kids. I was out in, like, the suburbs and out in the sticks or whatever, but like in army bases and whatnot. And I don't remember like this this pro-white education. Like I don't know if that's the way it really went down. This is such a weird question. Like, what testifies to the existence of the white race? What do you even mean by that? Like, if you're a white person, where do you get this education from? Like, to be fair, I could point to something modern that is like that. And I was joking about that with you earlier. Like, they got the whole, school of white well-being and all that stuff. But I don't know that this was happening before.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So they're trying to offer a trade. The black delegation would like to trade.
Oh, you see what happens? Black people are savage. Oh man. But the critical race theory question, that's what KG just typed in the chat. And I think that's what they were kind of like pointing around to. It was almost like making an argument for critical race theory in the white privilege test. Yeah. Like, I can speak in public to a powerful male group without putting my race on trial. Like, some of these things are just odd. Like are these white people problems? Are they supposed to be black people problems? I don't know where this stuff comes from.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was definitely weird. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the link to the white privilege test in the chat room. No, in the comment section. The link will be in the comment section of the video, so y'all can definitely check it out and go take the test for yourself and see how you score on it. But I'm like, it was goofy. It was goofy. It was a lot of goofy questions. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. I was not impressed with the questions, because some of the questions is like, if that's privilege, then it's like, then what is privilege? Some of the questions about the are you able to find toys where the toys have the same race as you or whatever? It's like this isn't like, okay, I don't know. The answer was yes. I answered yes to that, but it's still a weird thing to say that's what privilege is. That
yeah.
They're basically saying it's not a big deal in that regard, and a lot of it came down to what kind of country do you live in? A country that's majority your race. If hospitals are institutions that's open to the public and open to everybody, and anybody who's credentialed or qualified can work there, then you wouldn't. You're going to go there. You're going to get treatment. Like I said, you sprain an ankle, you're going to go there. You sprain an ankle, you're going to go there, and you're going to be treated for that sprained ankle by whoever is the staff at the hospital. And whether or not they're black or white, I don't think that affects my privilege, whether or not the people who treat my sprained ankle are of the same color as me. So I don't. So some of the questions were like trap questions that you have to answer no to.
Right.
But
no, number 18 was funny in that sense, because it said I can be pretty sure that if I ask to talk to the person in charge, I'll be facing a person of my race. And you know how like you're having a moment and you want to talk to the manager, don't you feel just a slightly bit of relief if there's a black manager? Just a teeny tiny, just a hint of relief.
I don't know. I don't even think. Okay, I'm not that. I need to speak to a manager person, so I don't even know what that feels like. I've never really done that. That's some Karen shit. you on your Karen stuff right there. I would like to speak to a manager, please. Like, no, I can't even recall doing that. But yeah, no, I do. I mean, I like to see it. I do like to see that when somebody black is the manager that they go get. And then somewhere in the back of your mind when he shows up, are you thinking, no, I want the real manager? All right, I'm just playing. Like that ain't like, nah, you ain't the dude. You ain't the dude. I need to give me somebody higher up. I think that's
I want to talk to the white manager.
Yeah, I think that's what Jim Jones low-key did. He was like,
facts, he really did it. It wasn't low-key. He literally did it.
He's like, I've been asking for help.
Black manager.
I've been trying to get the manager out here, and they didn't sent me this guy. And then he turned the camera around to a black dude who was probably the manager. But he didn't want him. He didn't want him. Go get me the real manager. It was like, but all right, it's time to check out. It's time to check out. I didn't know he was gonna be on this long. Those tests and questionnaires took longer than I thought. But yeah. we got to make a run for it. Yeah, a lot of people remember We Ain't Tripping. That's what Jim Jones did. That's exactly what he did. He could have got the help he wanted from the manager that was there that they sent him. He asked for somebody, they went and got somebody. He was black, and he had a problem. And Jim Jones had a problem with that. Yeah, I know. Don't send me the black dude. That's messed up. That's messed up. But anyway. Somebody says, how does white privilege feel? What is right? How does white privilege feels like BR? It feels exactly how it felt before I knew I had it. Put it like that. Feels exactly how I felt before I knew I had it. But anyway, thank you everybody who's been participating in this show, in this stream. I do appreciate each and every one of you, everybody who supported the stream in any way, shape, or form. If you're not subscribed to the Hood Server, make sure you go and subscribe to them. And with that said, we are out of here. Peace. We gone.